Are we ready? Are we doing this? Are you sure?
Yes! Oh my god, Cody!
That's perfect. Don't want to be not that guy, so there. Alright, there. Kyle.
Hear that, Kyle?
See how we did that? Kyle, Nicholas, Cody, Heather, Kayla, Krabby, Kevin. Everyone had a different look too. That was perfect. Good job. Oh,
Right.
just like we rehearsed. Again, from the
Every
top.
time.
No, not from the top.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
no, just once. Once was good. We did good that one time. That's what rehearsal's all about. You nail it the first time. All right, cool. Are we good? Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. All right. Okay, D&D time. Let's do this thing. All right. So I'll press record now. All right, 1 second.
Okay.
Do you not want me to? Okay, I won't.
No, I went to the side!
All right, jeez. All right, so what's up, everyone? My name's Kyle. This is Fates to Fables. God damn it. This is the crew, guys. It's been a while. You can tell it's been a while. Which is Gearhearts Rising. Need no introduction. This is the Gearhearts, but we're going to introduce everybody everywhere because that's what we do, and everyone has their own thing that they like to do, so I don't want to take that away from everyone. So,
Also, we really want to make sure that we spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah,
Just-
as
Cody,
long-
shut the heck
make
up!
it good, you know, like really dig in. Let's really wow them. So, that's me, the DMKB. Who's up next?
It's me, Nick. I play Volt, who is trying to keep a level head, because if not, that dwarf will be dead.
Yay!
Okay. Not too shabby.
I'm playing Frailhouse Dakra, and I had a really cool thing happen with a dream in this last session to where, like, now my mask is spreading down my right arm, and, like, I have a dragon mark now, and it's a whole bunch of really cool stuff, and it's going to make me a lot stronger. Also, not a barbarian anymore. How's about that? That's kind of cool. Now I'm a paladin. Oh, I'm looking forward to smiting things. Kind of like Kayla's chances of getting to what she really wants to do tonight. Whatever it happens to be.
Want to see Smite? I'll show you Smite.
Well, the game where you play a bunch of, like...
Oh my
different
god, my
types
name's Kayla. I play Alona.
Nice.
She's an artificer.
Nice.
She's got a little mechanical dragon. His name is Misfit, and he's awesome. And we also got revamped, but I'm not going to spend time on it. Next person, go!
Nice.
Is that me again?
No,
So, yeah, take it from the top.
no,
Oh,
It's
do we
Crab.
need to go from the top again?
no.
Oh no, okay.
Just
Crab's
let
up
me
next.
play D&D.
No, Crab's next up. That's right. Yep, in rotation. I know
I'm
it's
a
been a
crab.
while, so yep, you're good.
I'm eating stuff, so I'm gonna be silent for a bit. I play Jill. That's it.
Always a
Bye.
pleasure.
Stuff.
Always a pleasure.
Crab's my
And
favorite
puppet.
person right
The
now.
hand puppet sells it.
I'm Heather. I play Persephone Sharonfoot Vanderhoff Kearney Day Renard III, who might just kill the dwarf that Nick was referring to earlier. I'm currently playing from a different room because tech issues, but otherwise, I'm excited to play again.
Yes.
What was that name again, but, like, slower this time?
Cody, shut up.
Persephone
I swear.
Sharonfoot Vanderhoff Kearney Day Renard III.
Just want to make sure everyone's got that.
I
Sharon
will
for-
have
Sharon for
no
Vanderoth
regrets
Kearney. Yeah.
for my
Sharon.
consequences. I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't because maybe... No, fuck everyone here. I'm gonna
Everyone.
do the thing.
Oi, fuck everyone, I tell ya. Every one of you. every one of you.
God, Kayla, I'm
We
waiting
got
for you
Kayla
to
speaking
play.
in tongues. I'm sorry, go
Oh my
ahead, Kev.
God!
Go, Kev, you're good.
God, it's okay with talk now. Are you sure? Anything else, Kayla? I'm Kevin. I play Styx, the friendly neighborhood goblin who never sets people on fire.
Except all the time.
Actually, looking at the screen real quick, Kev and Crab are backwards.
Ooh.
No.
There we go. Now try it. Bingo, bango, bongo. Perfect. All right, cool. All right, let's dive into this. We'll do a real quick recap. Or the longer one, because it has been a while, and then we'll get into some D&D. Which version do you guys want? I'll take a vote.
Long, detailed one.
More
Long one.
detailed?
Yeah.
It has been a while. You're right, Kev. Good call.
Short and simple, please.
Just
Oh,
start from
short
the
and simple.
beginning.
There's one for short and simple. I heard it.
Is there one for
Yes.
kittens just like
elongated it is.
Weeping?
Okay. So, it's been a while.
I mean, elongated?
See, I even kind of left that out there just to see if anyone got it. Okay, good. But I didn't go the full... Okay.
I'm going to bed.
No, okay, here we go. So, last time on Gearhearts Rising. Gosh, a lot's happened in just the last, 24 hours in the city of Imbric. There was a mass invasion from another plane of existence that was meant to happen, but maybe not necessarily when it was happening. You all fought off creatures, some that you've seen before, some other ones, one in particular that was a little larger, a little more ferocious, but being the heroic adventurers that you are, took it down quite quickly. You went through the city, you went to the academy, to the guild hall, to the marketplace, and everywhere else in between to try to see exactly how much damage was being done to the home city of one of your player characters, Persephone Sherford. And at the... I know what it is, I just went through it really quick because people were telling me to do it fast. At the light of the first dawn, though, these creatures started to pull away, almost seemingly into the shadows. And in the silence of the morning, you were able to, again, assess the damage that was done. You actually made your way down to the docks, where you met up with the captain of the Musketeers, a special brand unit of the military might of the House of Blades. And as you started to... The Danceketeers. Okay, all right, I'll take that. As you started to make your away from the docks, Ilona used her scrying orb to look in on one of her friends to not only find him, but find him laying in a pool of blood back at the docks. So you had to go back to the docks and find Fox, but he did not make it. His life had been expended. But you took him back to the guild hall. You took him down to the House of Blades, where Volt's new friend / business partner, Browen, was able to bring him back to life with some assistance from Volt and Styx. In this time, Percy and Frey took your Warforged friends to the House of Rhodes, where a large Warforged workshop is known throughout the city to hopefully get one of your comrades, Dennis, repaired and on the brink of death himself. Upon which, with specific instructions not to erase their memories, was heeded not at all. And you learned that not only did they fix the leg, which is what you asked, their memories were not only erased, but they went back to basically, code 0, code default settings. They didn't remember the names or anything, just nothing. To much dismay. As you went back to the house earlier in the day, one of your comrades, Gio, was dealing with his own vision dreams and awoke with a large gash across his chest. Went down for some breakfast, only to find more De Renard family members. Deimos, Hector, Aunt Rosalind, the trusty butler, Higgins, was also in tow as well. And a lot of you just lay down for a long rest, actually traversing into the evening of what was to be such a glorious, magnificent festival wedding day for Andromeda and Woodall, who is just the nicest guy, the nicest elf.
That's so great.
Right? Once you guys some of your party members finally awoke, Ilona woke up in a bit of a tiff, tearing up pieces of her past, only to go to the academy and learn a little bit more about her past, actually, and a little bit more about the academy's past and the Warforged contingency plan past, and made her way back to the House of Blades as well. So, going into the evening hours, there was a dinner set for the Countess, for Calypso, for Aunt Rosalind, and for Deimos, and Hector came back with Ilona and joined the meal. And eventually, finally, the team had reconvened later in the evening in the Sword Hall in the front of the House of Blades, and started to discuss some of your plans for what was to happen with this Earl of the Dwarven House of Rhodes, among other things happening. And Deimos had walked down the hallway and had to his sister Persephone to perhaps join them in the evening meal. So, that is where we'll pick up. See, that was like short and sweet, but kind of long too, because it's been a while.
I swear that took longer than the actual sessions.
Wow, okay.
No.
Guys, it's been fun. Tune in next time It's been a while.
Well, I could have set yourself up for that one, but it was longer than the actual sessions.
Persephone? It's been a long time, sister. Are you going to be joining us for the evening meal?
Of course, of course.
Your friends are more than welcome to join us all. I don't know. Some of them I think have actually eaten, but some not, but... Sorry, I turned up my volume. I couldn't hear it, but... Okay.
As the current man of the house, I hope you don't mind that I did invite them to stay here while we're in town.
Well, from what sister and mother have said, they've done more than most would ever care to do for a city that's, let alone they know nothing about or belong to, so they're welcome in our house as long as you deem necessary.
I appreciate that. Have they filled you in on father?
You'll see his expression kind of... You know your brother not to necessarily show too much expression with his military background. He's still a person, and he does get a little concerned look on his face. Yes, mother filled me in on the whole situation of their kidnapping, and I actually have some of my men already looking into perhaps investigating the scene. It was over in the grove near... Then he kind of off to the east of the island, yes?
I believe that's what she said. Just any investigation, do so quietly, because we're not entirely convinced that the perpetrators are gone. We think that they are somebody in the city.
I'll take a little... Just a quick little squinting of the eyes. Sister, do you know something? Any bit of information obviously would be more than helpful in finding our parents' captors. Do you want to join us for dinner, or do you want to just have this conversation here in the hallway?
No, I actually believe that topic might be better served after dinner, but I do have lots of information.
He's gonna walk up to you a little closer and
Stab you
in the face. Dun dun dun. Actually, I think perhaps to have as many day Renaud's at the table this evening might soothe Mother's emotional state. It's been kind of a long trek for her, and...
Yes, I just don't think that having this particular conversation at the dinner table will help that.
Alright.
If she brings it up, so be it, but I don't want to cause her any more distress.
Well, we were already talking about it, but I mean, maybe a change of topic might be good. We are also talking about this wedding that was supposed to take place, but obviously is not today.
Yes. Both bride and groom are a little indisposed. They are sleeping.
Yes, Mother had a question about that as well. Andromeda has been sleeping all day. Not out of character for her, but a little worrisome that it literally has been all day. Sleeping in shore. But...
Yes. There is an explanation for that, and we can start with that one. Shall we?
Yep, absolutely. Are all of you coming? And he just kind of gestures to all of you.
I take off my ring and I attune to it, and yes, I go to dinner.
Okay.
Is this... Could I have had a little bit of time before dinner to do a real quick thing?
No.
No.
Do you remember what you were doing before dinner?
Before dinner, I talked to Frey.
You're touching my face and arm again, you jerk.
Yeah.
You went to the academy.
Yeah, I went to the academy, and then I came home, and I talked to Frey, and his mask was like, no, because I tried to learn more information. Oh my god! My cat just ate my foot. And the mask was like, no, because I tried to learn more information. And then went out to talk to Deimos. How long until dinner is ready?
Oh, well, it's ready now, but you don't have to join us. It's just an open invitation. It's really not that hard of a concept. I mean, it's fine
I
other
want,
ways.
I want to join. I want to eat. I will be
If you need a few minutes.
right back. And I'm gonna go out the door.
All right.
I'm just gonna run. And we don't have to RP this out. I want to go to the nearest shop that sells spell scrolls.
Okay.
Good money.
Might be more than a few minutes.
All right.
Just go to Walcart.
And I want to see if I can buy a remove curse spell.
You better fucking not.
Okay. Oh, I gotta add more people in here.
Good luck.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Can Misfits help me?
Probably not.
Okay.
But it's worth the question to ask.
Oh god. That's a 21.
21. Okay. All right. So you go back over to Imbric mainland. You know that there's nothing here on Imbric Island that you'd be able to find.
Right.
Anything. But yeah, it takes you a little bit, but right, you kind of like stake around the academy, thinking maybe that might be a good place to start. And yeah, it's kind of, it's not really like dude, why does this keep moving on me? This is driving me nuts. Sorry. Oh, not today, roll 20. I'm just not in the mood for that. Okay. We're just gonna restart you. Yeah, there's a simple magic shop. It's when you kind of look on the exterior of it, you would, if you didn't even take a second look, it's getting kind of later into the evening. You see some of the lights start to flicker on, and in fact, this is one of the first times that you would have actually seen this happen. But as you kind of get near the academy, you see that there's these two large kind of like electrodes out front, like these metal poles, and you see them start to light up, and you see this blue and purple kind of coalescing energy, and it goes, and it goes off to the next lamp, and to the next lamp, and to the next lamp, and as it kind of like jumps from one lamp to the other, you see all these different lamps start to light up as you go. Which is why you actually see this kind of rinky-dink wooden... Again, the city has this old history to it. This even looks out of place because it looks older than some of the other buildings, but it's like this little ramshackly... It looks more like it'd be better placed in the woods. It's a cabin in the woods in the middle of the city. It doesn't really make sense, but the reason you see it is because one of these lights kind of jumps over it, and you see it says Mervin's Magic Shop. It's about probably your best shot at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna open the door.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look for the remove curse scroll.
Okay. So when you go inside, the exterior mirrors the interior. So the old wooden exterior, you go inside and it's very lackluster in terms of, it's a magic shop. It should, shit should be flying around and sparks and magical potions and things. Just a lot of wooden shelves and benches and parchments. It's nothing that would appease the eye at first glance. And when you walk in, there's this elderly dwarven man just kind of sitting in what you would guess would be the desk. Ah? Hello? We're closing soon.
Yeah, no, I just need like 1 minute to look at your spell scroll selection. Just 1 minute.
Spell scrolls, you say?
Yes, looking for one specifically. Remove curse.
Oh, well, hold on. And you see now, when you look at the desk, you see the upper half of this dwarf, but when he jumps down off of what you can imagine a chair or a stool, he almost kind of disappears behind it. This large, grandiose desk that he's sitting behind, he disappears behind and comes around, and as you get a better look at him, it's this old, gnarly-looking dwarf. White hair, white beard, and some of the other dwarves in town, their beards are very well kept. Some have little beads and nods in them. This guy, his beard is kind of all different directions. He kind of like has a creaky look eye to him that kind of twitches every now and again. When he smiles at you, there's like a couple teeth missing and a little bit of a hunchback. Nothing major, but just it's there. It's enough to notice it. remove curse. Hold on. And he kind of like just starts like looking through some of the things. Takes him a minute. Go ahead and roll an investigation check again.
God. Okay. Okay. Come on. Wait, where's that one? Okay, come on. Do I get advantage because he's helping me?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, that's much better. 23.
23, you say? Looks like I'm in the remove pimple. That's weird. Why is this even in here? Kind of like takes a scroll and like throws it. Why is this even in here? And he's just in this big, what used to be some sort of like ale cask, but there's just like weird rolled up parchments and things. And he kind of like, when he dives into it, his little dwarven feet are kind of kicking in the air a little bit, and he pops back out. I think this is it. Hold on. And he kind of pulls out this set of monocles, and when he puts them on, they're like just the little teeny tiny speckle things, but they're kind of like mismatched off to the side, and he kind of like leans his head to see through it properly. I think this is it right here. Yes, good.
Perfect. And I'll grab it.
What do you have to pay for? Why are you like trying to snatch it back?
How much is it?
What's a remove curse? Is that 3rd level spell?
It's 3rd level. It's gonna be pricey AF.
It's also not on her spell list, so she can't even read it, but you know.
Look, okay, because I was under the impression if you have the ability to cast a spell, you can cast any spell using a spell scroll.
Nope. Spell scroll bears the words of a single spell written in a mystical cipher. If the spell is on your class's spell list, you can read the scroll and cast a spell without providing any material components, otherwise the scroll is unintelligible.
But I think it's a cleric one.
It is.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
I
also a
wanted to
paladin
do
spell.
it. Yeah, but I wanted
So
to do
she
it.
doesn't
I mean,
have to be the one to
DM
read
can
it.
revoke that requirement if he wants. That's just wrong.
No one in this universe can cast this spell. It's not even.
Oh my god.
It's made up.
Remove curse doesn't exist.
Scroll prices. I don't know. 3rd level. It's probably what, like 150. I don't know.
I'm gonna say it, but
Yo, that's cheap.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's
level 4 is 500, so to 5,000. So I'll say, let's see here. I don't really think this is the one I have, so 300 gold.
Okay, so I have such an amazing offer for you. I don't have 300 gold. I do have 59 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces and these fabulous boots. And I'll pull out the boots of blinding speed.
Okay, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Why?
you're good at
13?
persuasion, right?
No.
What did you get?
13?
13? It kind of takes a moment to look you over. I mean, they're just shiny boots. I don't understand.
No, they make you run twice as fast. They're amazing. You just zoom like lightning.
Kind of like pulls on his beard that's all dangly, so it's not even like this. It's like lightning, you say?
Yeah.
And you see him kind of shake his head a little bit. Oh, welcome to my shop. My name's Mervyn. We're closing up soon. Can I help you, madam? I'm sorry I didn't hear you come in, but I can certainly help you find some scrolls or parchments for magical needs.
No, that's fine. Am I still holding the scroll?
Go ahead and make a dex check, because I said he was going to grab for it.
God, I just no. Let me click up now. That's a 19.
19? You still have it.
No, I was just leaving actually.
Oh.
We just made an exchange for silly old piece of paper. These boots are yours now, and here's 59 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. Did I... Okay.
You drive such a hard bargain.
What do the boots do? They're just shiny. I don't
They
understand.
make you go super fast. Be very careful with them. But I've got to go, and you've got to close shop, so I'll be on my way. But I'll stop by tomorrow, and we'll catch up.
He looks very confused, but he'll take your gold and the boots. All right, yes, pleasure doing. But come back to Mervyn's whenever you. Okay, that's you just.
What is with this party and like robbing random shopkeepers?
They're really robbing. The boots might have been worth it.
Look, I haven't robbed anybody yet.
You just
Sticks
walk.
in the
You just
book.
walk out.
Alona and this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
All right.
And I will leave feeling like the worst person ever.
As you
And
walk
I will-
away, Misfit kind of looks up at you, very confused, like.
No, I know, Misfit, but we'll be back in this city later, and I will have more money, and I will pay him the full price then. It's just that this is very important.
Make an insight check on Misfit.
An insight check on Misfit, do I get advantage because he's Misfit and he's my baby boy?
Of course. Why wouldn't
Gosh.
You get a 2.
I rolled a nat 1.
you? Okay.
But the second one with my modifier of +1 is a 16.
16. You get the idea that he's not necessarily barking at the whole idea of robbing the guy. He's just more or less confused at like what just happened.
He's a very forgetful man.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll just like explain on my way back to the thing,
Okay.
to the house.
You just hear him say, "Have a good, nice night. Bye."
You too, you're wonderful.
Just gave boots. Oh, Jesus. They're the boots that you can't stop, right?
No, they're the boots that you go blind when you run with
That's
them.
right. Blinding speed. Yep. Yep. All right.
So you run so fast you can't see?
Yep.
Yeah.
Noted. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so, and then
You're gonna kill this old man.
I will go back to the house and I will go sit down and eat what I'm sure is now a cold dinner.
Okay. Yeah, this whole exchange between... It actually takes you longer to get there and walk back than this whole exchange did, but yeah, you'll probably be gone for a good 30 minutes. It's going to take...
Yeah,
you had
that's
to walk
fine.
across the bridge and then walk back again.
Yeah, I'm going to be running the whole time, just like sprinting at full speed.
Okay. 20 minutes.
Cool.
Like 1 point of exhaustion.
3
Worth
points
it.
of exhaustion.
Still worth
7
it.
points of exhaustion. You're dead now.
Blinding speed.
Okay, and then I would like to sit next to Volt if a seat next to him is still open.
All right. Cool. So, while that's all happening, you guys, back at the House of Blades, Deimos will walk you guys back to the table. The Countess is at one end, and Deimos actually sits at the other end, where you would imagine, you know that your father sits, typically. Calypso is there, Rosalind is there, Hector is there, Andromeda is not. But yeah, there's enough chairs for everyone. You guys can sit there. The evening meal is a nice, like roasted beef, some vegetables and things.
So, Mother, you were wondering about Andromeda's sleeping habits. To prevent the wedding of doom, so to speak, that we had picked up that there was plotting surrounding this wedding, and just to make sure that she wasn't caught in the middle of it, I asked Volt to, since he offered to cook a dessert, I asked him to put something in it to put her to sleep so that we know she's not going to be there, and I was going to impersonate her so that it could keep going on, and then the portal's open.
Is Bro at the table?
What's that?
Is Bro at the table?
Oh yeah, is Bro still there?
I think he would have gone home by now. He has to go check on Charlie.
Yes, but he's
But there's
also
food, and he's also
fanboying.
stoned off his ass.
And he's
Totally stoned
fanboying.
off his ass.
Exactly.
Is Fox at the table?
They are both not there.
Okay.
Where's Fox?
But yes, I just wanted to make sure that she would not accidentally go and something happen, and it apparently was stronger than I was anticipating. But she's perfectly fine. We've been keeping an eye on her. Volt actually knows some medicine, so he made sure that they're safe. Her and Woodall. And maybe when she wakes up, we can just pretend that it is actually the day of the wedding and nothing happened, and she won't complain.
Well, I mean, speaking of this wedding, after thinking on this, I thought perhaps in my captivity, just so much was going on that I needed a bit of rest to gather my thoughts, but after conversing, your father and I never agreed to any sort of wedding.
No,
So
I know.
there was no wedding going to be happening anyway. I don't...
I would rather it not happen at all too, but Andromeda seemed very excited about it, so I think part of it should be her.
Well, she's always, as you know, been a little extreme when it comes to certain topics, and...
Kind of a ditz. All respect, of course. Unlike that Modal guy who's just a fucking prick.
Well, you're not wrong. I'm not going to say on all of what parts, but yes. So, I guess really what comes next is we really should be focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is finding your father, yes?
Yes, I'm not sure where to start with that one, though, because from what we have discovered, if he's still alive, he's not on this plane.
You'll see Deimos and the Countess kind of sit back at that. How do you know this?
I'm gonna pull out the scrying orb and set it on the table.
Okay. That's very lovely. What is it?
I tried to find him with it. It's a magic orb that you can scry on people. You can see them. I've also used it to verify certain people's identities after we discovered that mother and father were replaced.
So you can't see him right now? We could see him right... You can't, but...
It theoretically, we can. But when I tried, it didn't work. And from
you'll see her visually get sad at that.
And from what we know, that either means that he is dead or on another plane.
Oh. The Countess will get quiet at that. Alright, well, let's not focus so much on the former, more so the latter. A different plane, you say, perhaps. Well, I do have one quick thought.
Share light.
I am not all that well conversed in the arcane arts, but I do know that when it comes to... in the military field, in the battlefield, you send scouts to visualize the opponent. You try to find different trade routes or supply chains, and you can also deceive those scouts and make things appear to be there or not to be there to try to lure your enemy away. What I'm getting at is, I'm not fully knowledgeable on the arcane, but is there a way to perhaps block this orb?
Perhaps, but that would mean that they are aware that we can do so, or that there's specific security risks, because As far as I know, there'd have to be an item or something in the room to hinder it, and there was nothing where you were that we've seen. You did not have any items on you. There was no obvious signs.
I also didn't really know we were onto them before we kind of, broke in and rescued your mom. So there's that. Could just be precaution they're taking now that they know that we know they exist.
As far as we know, they don't know that we've rescued her. I have said that mother and father are ill. When people were asking about them, because I don't want it to be known that that father isn't around, because considering that he was a machine, would be...
Did you try to use this orb on me at all when I was gone?
No, I did not realize you were gone. Until we fought... And they did have an impersonator for both of you. Father was a machine and you were...
A booger monster.
Calypso...
Like a giant gross candle thing? It was...
Like if you picked a really big booger with one big red eye and it hit you.
And also it turned into a candle. And sometimes gas.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Some monstrosity.
And that was me.
Well,
yes.
The booger. Oh.
It looked like you.
It did a shape-shifting
was
thing.
Impersonating you, yes.
Yeah.
You see them both kind of like very confused. They don't really understand how magic works.
Yeah, I do want to remind you, though, Percy, that my ex-girlfriend was about to bring her somewhere. So
that is true.
If they haven't seen her yet, I'm assuming they know that we have your mom.
Also, how's a robot and a weird fiend thing going to get sick? And I definitely had time to report back through magical means if you made that excuse at the party before.
There's been a gap of time of no reporting.
True. My thought was just because we had stopped the impersonators, they wouldn't necessarily know that we've got Mother. But that is a fair point that she was going to be moved.
Yeah, and don't forget, Volt's ex-girlfriend, Soul's been claimed by the Master, so they technically know everything that Soul knew. So they knew that we took a prisoner and stuff like that. So
she might know, but the underlings in the city might not.
No, but there's the easy way. If she knew, then her boss knows, and he can spread the word back to the underlings in the city.
Depends on
By the way, at this point, we're just kind of speculating on something that doesn't.
Oh yeah.
So should we just assume that they know everything that we know?
That's a good way to go about
It's
things.
the best way to go about it. Let's assume they know everything that we know and take it from there.
Deimos is going to look... His demeanor's going to change a little bit to very... Not strict, but a little more forward now. Alright, well, let's begin with that. When you say they, who is this they?
I look at Frey.
The same ones that were behind the portals and were plotting against the wedding. Cultists of Loth.
Have you heard of Loth, the big spider bitch?
Yeah, she's kind of trying to come
Take
with
over
the
the
prime
world.
material plane and turn it into basically a massive, gross cocoon world to grow her power. It's kind of fucked up. Doesn't bode well for anybody here. We're all gonna die if she gets what she wants.
I was always under the... I hate to use the word assumption, but it's the first word that comes to mind, that this sort of race that prayed to this goddess of demons was below ground. I don't recall any sightings of such a thing for kind of a long, long time ago. Hundreds of years
shit,
ago.
no. Kind of ran into them in a graveyard not long ago. Killed the fuck out of them.
Westeros. They aren't coming. They are being subtle, but they have been sighted.
And using everyone's ignorance to their advantage.
See, Aunt Rosalind at the mention of Azeros. Azeros!
Lower, don't lower, closer to where they actually are, underground.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. They could still be responsible for what's-her-face's disappearance. Frey, not understanding the purpose of hiding things.
wait, who disappeared? This is Rosalind now. Wait, who disappeared? What? What's happening? I heard Azeros is in trouble.
Not necessarily. We had dealt with some issues there. It might possibly be alright.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what a showgirl really has to do as far as like strategic gains for a drought group anyway.
That might not have been strategic, that might have just been opportunity. Get somebody that others won't miss too much. Or
Oh, I'm sure she has some regulars.
but there won't necessarily be a thorough investigation. If it was known that 2 nobles of Imbric had gone missing, then there would have been an uproar. But frankly, a lot of common folk, they can go missing without too much of a hassle, depending on who they are.
True. Hey, did we ever find out why they really wanted Calypso, by the way?
Oh no, that's somebody else. But
Who?
no. So that's the red buzzards
Yeah.
and their ilk, and that I
The ones
believe
who are
was
being
a
forced
plot.
to work for the Dark Elves, yeah.
Well, I believe that
All those
they
put out
have
by
a
them?
link, but if this had to do with it, because I'm gonna kind of gesture to his mask and say, not all of their kind followed only the one god.
That's racist.
That's Drowist. That's
Oh my god.
Cows are a race, so it'd be racist, not
Drowist. That's
So-
Spiderist.
So,
God.
just because they are affiliated with the buzzards does not mean that it's part of the same plot. So I believe it is totally different scenario. Otherwise, they would have just grabbed her here.
I don't know, man. I mean,
Not-
they're kind of going for all your family members, though.
Well, not all of us, but they would have, having already impersonated mother and father, they would have had opportunity to whisk her away without any risk, without any warning.
Unless they
And-
wanted something from her, like finding you.
Bait. But then they would have probably had a better
I'm-
watch on her, too, you know? I'm just
Now,
saying.
now let's
they-
just say that false father was the one that sent her, but
Also, their trap kind of works. We just beat them into the ground before the trap.
And as you
But
say,
that's just-
as you say all these things, but correct me if I'm wrong. How long has mother and father been kidnapped for?
let's see, it was before I left, so it's been several months.
And not our father, but the other father,
Robo-Dad.
False father,
Robo-Dad.
yeah.
Sure, all right. He's the one who sent Calypso, then.
Yes, so that is a point, but that it just feeds into my confusion as to, did they not know, had they not been observing us? Because if I was the original bride that they intended, but any would have done, then why not just start with Andromeda? She was the next in line and would have been much more compliant. So had they not realized that I would have caused a fuss, or did they need me for something? And if they sent Calypso to find me on purpose to lure me out, they would have done better to send Deimos or Hector, because I am closer to them.
What if they didn't know about the rest of your family, and they wanted Calypso and you to go find Aunt Rosalind?
Rosalind has not been hidden.
Wait, am I being involved in all this?
No.
Should I be worried?
No.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to connect dots that might not be there, but might be there. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
No, and we have other extended family, but the locations are not hidden. Like, I was the one once I left that was under the radar.
It seems like there's a very tangled web here, and
Uh-huh.
to get to some answers, there needs to be,
Detangling.
for lack of a better term, yes, there needs to be a certain thread to pull, and if last night's activities are any sort of precursor to what could be coming, we need to find the longest one as soonly as possible, not pull on the short threads. We need answers, and quickly.
Yes.
You said people were looking for Calypso, and he kind of looks over at her. Is this correct? These all saved you and brought you back safely, am I to understand?
Yes. I'm gonna pull out the poster that we had found with the
Orc guys.
May I
Yeah.
see that?
I'll hand it over. The orcs had one, and then the warforged that attacked us also had one. The red buzzards, someone connected to them hired them something to track her. The orcs were finding lookalikes, and then upon realizing it wasn't her, killing them. And well, the Warforged weren't really fully aware of what was going on. They barely were aware of the poster itself. And,
Who wasn't aware of that?
the Warforged, the Fallen. I would like, a few of us would like to go have a word with them.
You said that they were looking for Calypso as well.
They're part of the Red Buzzards, so they've obviously circulated
Sort of.
this throughout.
Subjugated.
They are affiliated.
Subjugated.
Whether or not it's voluntarily or not, they are affiliated.
Subjugated.
Tomato.
It is important to clarify this, because you said the orcs had this sheet, but you said the Warforged did as well. The reason I say this is because if we're going to focus in on who needs to be avenged upon, we should make sure that our eggs are in one basket. I think is that the term, or no?
Oh, I have a growing list, don't worry.
And Persephone, when your brother says this, you recall that Deimos is always very straightforward and militaristic and, very Leonardo of the group, yes? So when he tries to crack a joke, it's never really all that funny, but
Oh my god.
he really tries, eggs in a basket thing.
I love
I think
him.
that's right, yes? I'm the one little glimmer, and then it's
It's
back
not good
to-
enough.
yeah.
When I'm with you.
All right, well,
But don't worry, I have a growing list. We're seeking out more information on the Red Buzzards, their locations.
can you
I
pass
also-
those, please? You see Hector kind of lean over towards Volt, leaning towards some of the meat.
Oh, absolutely. Have some more.
Oh, thank you!
No problem.
Oh my god. I would like to make the Fallen allies.
Gio, make a perception check, by the way.
Wow.
Sorry,
And-
Persephone, continue. Yep, go ahead.
And take out the rest of the buzzards. I would like to track down this cult and ruin them. I would like to gain vengeance on the House of Rhodes right now. Totally not related, just personal vendetta at
What's-
this point.
Maybe related.
Your mom kind of
Possibly related.
Persephone, why would you want what has anything? Yes, why
So,
what's with them?
We have realized
They're assholes.
They killed her children.
so
What?
we have realized just let me explain.
11, by the way.
You see Hector every now and again out of the corner of your eye while you're eating, just staring at you very curiously. But you're eating, so it's like not really paying attention to it too much. But every now and again, when you kind of look over, he's still staring at you while eating. Continue.
All right.
So, we have discovered that the Wolfords can be awoken, can regain some sentience if you give them a name.
Mhm.
So we have been doing that. Do not spread that around. That is confidential. Do not let anyone know that we've been doing that. But 2 of the ones that had been here, Frey named Bob and Dennis, and we grew rather fond of them, and then Dennis was injured with the debacle last night, and having nowhere else to turn, I took him to the House of Rhodes and specified I do not want them reprogrammed. I want them to retain the identities that they have. And they took them both back to the workshop, even though only Dennis needed help, and they reprogrammed them both and then put a listening device.
Dastardly.
So, yes. And the Earl had given his word directly to me that they would not be reprogrammed. And he's a fucking bastard who did not intend that at all. And that I am not sure, but there's a chance that they are also connected. They might have created the machine that was impersonating Father. There were more of those machines downstairs in a hidden room, and they were stolen last night. So we don't have the evidence, other than what is in my bag of holding, which was the one that was Father, and I destroyed it. We damaged it, and I want to look at it, but it is beyond anything I have seen, and it's fascinating. And once I take a look in the listening device, I will have a better idea of if they are connected.
Still think we should just blow them up.
When I
Yeah.
finish my meat, I'm gonna start pretending to eat silverware.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
All right.
Let's see how this goes.
That's a 19.
Okay.
Plus.
Okay.
Wait. 0.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, you kind of look them over once, just kind of curious as to, but you kind of see everyone else doing. With the fork does this, and the knife cuts this, and you. It's a little hard to do because you have this, your long snout. But you actually look kind of a little bit of etiquette to it. You see Calypso kind of look over and kind of gives you a little nod, like, little pinky extended. Very dapper, Sergio. Very dapper.
Then I pretend to eat the silverware.
Oh gosh. Do you have you unattune to your ring, right?
No, I have to. I'm not.
You want to
attuned
tune to it, yeah.
I'm not
Take an hour
eating
to
it.
attune.
Pretend.
I'm
Please
pretending.
tell me you're doing this when you're sure that Hector's watching. Please.
I'm doing that when when he's doing that. I just like open my mouth and just put it in and put it under my tongue.
Okay. You'll see Hector kind of go. You're not supposed to eat the silverware. You just use them.
What do you mean? I say as I pick up a piece of silverware and pretend to shove it in my non-existent mouth.
It just goes just ah! Ah!
I pull it back out of the mask area. And
Wait.
I'm not gonna eat silverware.
He kind of like takes a bite and like bites into the fork. Ow! No! You can't eat silverware.
Oh no, he forked up his teeth.
Ah!
And he
Kyle could have
dies. No,
spoon-fed that one to you. It was pretty nice anyway,
it's
though.
pretty knife, yeah. See, yeah, I thought of that one. That was like right there.
Time to go see the doctor / dentist / barber.
Cure wounds. Thank you, Volt. Ow! Ah, he's like holding his mouth. Ah! Oh! How'd you do that?
Magic.
Ooh!
Anyway, so every so often I will pretend to eat a piece of silverware and just put it under my tongue.
Did you know your crocodile friend eats literally everything?
Yeah. That's why some of the chairs are missing legs.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh! Can I eat stools too?
If you have his ring.
Uh-oh.
What ring?
Don't
So
worry
there's
about
this very serious conversation at the head of the table. Not so
Meanwhile,
good
at the
happening.
kids' table.
Yeah, at the kids' table. You can eat stools with a ring. I want to try. Where's this ring at?
Yeah,
Do you want to give the kid your ring?
No.
Oh, come on, please.
Just a little bit, okay, please?
I want to eat a fork. I want to know what it tastes like.
Come on, man. You gotta let this kid live his dreams.
Nah.
When else are you gonna get an opportunity to corrupt the youth?
It's my ring.
It'd just be a temporary borrowing thing. You'd have it back soon. We're not even using it right now.
I'll make you a trade for it. I just want to borrow it. Please.
Come on, man. He's just a kid. If it really comes down to it, we can chase him down and take it back later.
No.
So you don't have the ring on, right?
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Kid's gonna steal your fucking ring.
Back over to the adult table. I will say this, Persephone. There's a lot of information you have at your disposal, you and your friends, to decipher. I will say this. Don't discount all your clues, even they might seem insignificant and small at the time.
Oh, it's all up here, just keeping all the pieces at hand can be tricky sometimes.
It's just that, again, from my experience, that not only are things not always what they seem, but sometimes the smallest bit of information could lead to that tiny crack in the armor that you need to fully understand everything behind it. Exploit all the weaknesses.
Awesome.
Deimos' rogue class confirmed.
Diplomats.
Just winks at
Totally
your,
different warfare.
winks at your black mask. Just, I don't know if I'm looking at you or not. I don't know. But all right. I guess
With the gross hands.
I guess, yeah. Cool, dude. I guess my one question would be, for now anyway, I think a thread that, if I had to guess, to pull on for now would be this Calypso situation. It just seems interesting that this Robo-Dad, he looks at Volt, that Robo-Dad, right, sent her away at a very interesting time. And not only was she sent away, but also that people were looking for her. Where were, actually, come to think, where were these orcs and these warforged that...
Pull out my map
Oh, yes.
that I copied the
perfect.
info.
He'll get
That
up from
was
his
them.
he'll get up from his chair and actually come around to kind of stand behind you and kind of leans in a little bit.
So this was them, not too far from Azeros. We had gone up to clear out it was called a factory, supposedly used by the Drow to create some of the creatures that attacked last night. Cleared that out, and did find a machine that belonged to the House of Rhodes. And I always just thought that since the son had been sent on a mission, that it was just abandoned. That they'd sent party out to gather something and it was left. But more and more things are adding up that they are linked.
Also,
So-
we kind of got like that whole situation where they heard about us planning to kind of fuck them up, so we gotta like do something about them sooner rather than later anyway.
that was another thing, getting that recording back, or setting it up so that it seemed like that wasn't us.
Also, didn't the Warforged go like super aggro against us when we fought Robo Dad and Snot Mom?
The ones that were not awoken, yes.
Right, and they figured out a way to stop that from happening, so I think we really need to worry about that too.
Yes, especially
Aggro,
since they...
is it short for something?
They get aggressive.
Oh.
They attacked as well.
They try to.
Well...
Yeah, by the time we got there, they were kind of blown up in a corner.
Yes.
Impressive. I've never heard of Warforged attacking anyone before. This is disturbing.
I have been working under the assumption that because False Father, Robo-Dad, was a machine that far surpasses anything I have seen, that something as part of the machinery allowed him to take control.
Like he named them himself.
And then they attacked you.
Tried.
When he attacked. We sort of showed our
I said
hands.
you're back like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
Volt's already warmed the plate. Probably has to warm it up again because you didn't even need it. It needs to be warmed up again. In the microvolt. Microvolt? Wave?
Maybe.
Micro...
I just pressed the station, but yes, we will make our microwave. That sounds like a good idea.
Wave. Put a pin in that. Come with the journey.
Okay.
A hot plate? Or volt plate? Nope. Keep going. Anyway.
Nope. Yes, actually, so they sort of... They're not supposed to. It's supposed to be hardwired into their settings that they cannot attack humans.
That's what I've always been understood. I mean, Warforged, for as long as I've known, they just work. They fix bridges. They fix doors. They make new construction.
Which is why I thought that the mechanical father was the one that had taken control.
Well, okay. No, yep.
But if House of Rhodes did in their repairs and maintenance of all the Warforged in the city. I don't think it's all the Warforged, though, because then they would have joined in the fight last night.
I'm just saying, there's already enough coincidences between the House of Rhodes and the rest of this shit that I really think it's probably our next step.
I also had an idea about us maybe going to the House of Rhodes, because if they are bad guys, they might have a way to conversate with the bad people. And if they have a way to do that, we might be able to get a little bit of juice from the scrying orb to see if your dad's over there.
You'll see Deimos perk up at the sound of that.
It would at least either give us an answer or at least check that off our list.
And a chance to punch that fucking asshole
yes,
in the face.
Please.
You weren't even there.
It is...
The dwarf? I don't like him.
It is sensitive, though, because if they are not connected, then that could cause serious tension between the four houses, and the only way the city still exists, this kingdom still exists, is the balance between them.
Well, it's no secret that our house and the House of Rhodes have never really seen eye to eye on most things.
No, but nothing has happened between them to cause...
Quite literally, they're smaller than us, but I mean on actual diplomatic issue. Yes, okay.
But if we went in there, stormed in there, accused them...
Damn it.
That was a short joke.
I was nodding.
Deimos is trying, damn it, alright? They're just little subtle things.
It was too short of a joke. Couldn't help it.
You a military officer, bud, because you definitely fit into the office.
Anyway.
Yes. Continue. I'm sorry. I tried to make a joke. It was bad. It's just continuous.
Oh no, it was great. It was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just stopped short of it.
Anyway, if we just storm in there and make accusations, cause destruction, and they are not connected, then now there is a situation and they might have a claim to take some of our power away or cause all sorts of grief and tip the balance between these four houses. it would be a situation.
Yeah, but if one of them is already corrupt, and we don't even know if the other one that's not where the wedding was, I don't remember that one. I think it was the bank. I don't really remember.
House of Gold, I do believe I saw them.
We haven't checked on them.
You said the
means
House
they
of
might be
Rose kind of has
corrupted.
the courts in their pocket anyway, right?
So there's a House of Courts, which is Woodall's family that controls the laws and the courthouse. House of Rhodes does all the maintenance and logistics, essentially. We control the military, and the House of Gold is the treasury.
Wait, did you just say that Woodall, Mr. Winespinner, makes laws?
His family.
Can we make a law that says you can't spy on people without consent from other officers? Because then everything they have is irrelevant.
One, I think if we'd make the law now...
It would be Woodall. Shit just happened. She's
If
the
the
fan.
law was made now, I don't think that would necessarily change what has already happened. But also,
The thing
laws
about
are not just let's write it down and it's a thing.
The thing about the House of Courts, and that's not a terrible idea, Volt, and honestly, if it deals anything with getting father back, I'm open to suggestions. The elves live for a very long time. They don't necessarily do anything right away. They more or less, if, for lack of a better term, have time to review and discuss, and quite honestly, it bores me. I'm
draft,
more of a man of
redraft.
action, so
Yes.
But
it would
if
take
one
some
elf,
time.
if one elf felt paranoid, saying that he was being watched and it was for his own safety, I'm pretty sure it would be a little bit more urgent than a long time.
I'm not sure, but it also would not be him, it'd be his parents that are doing it. He does not have control.
Oh, Daddy,
yet.
I'm so scared. Someone's been watching me. There's this creepy thing, and I'm gonna start spinning my wine glass.
That's pretty good. Actually, make a performance check.
Okay.
1. Yeah.
15.
That's pretty good. You need to... If you added a little
Yeah,
accent to it, you'd have it spot on. Yes, absolutely.
Slight pompous tone, yes.
Yeah. But you have the twirl down. That was...
I think...
I've done it before.
I don't know if they would make it a law, especially when that would catch them in disobedience of it. I think they would more just buy more gargoyles or hire more gods.
What?
Like,
Don't say the G word.
they would bring in more target practice.
Oh.
Gesture at Jill.
Oh yeah, gargoyles, right?
Oh, God.
Not here, Jill. Would theoretically could arrive.
You
Alright.
Hector goes, gargoyles, where? Where?
I start looking around.
He
I
does
put on
too.
my-
He does too.
I put on my fucking goggles. Turn them on.
Do a perception
Anything?
check. With advantage because you have your goggles on.
No, that's not too good. 17.
You put your goggles on, look around. You see Hector looking over at you, kind of mimicking everything you do. When you like kind of look around, he does the same movement. There's no gargoyles in here,
All right.
but you are
Not
on
yet.
the lookout. And
All right.
is
I get up
Hector.
and I walk to the kitchen and then go to the sink and drop all the silverware out of my mouth.
But I think that they would just take more immediate action, especially when that law could turn on them. Because if they are allied with the House of Rhodes, if they are aware of what the House of Rhodes is doing, that will just bite them in the ass.
So
That would also tell us that the whole system that you guys are relying on for order is already ruined.
We don't know if they're still them or replaced. with mother and
a
father.
side note, if I may. So, if I'm piecing together some of the puzzle here, you found a House of Rhodes machine in this drow factory you mentioned before.
Yes.
Okay.
I call it the rig. I've made modifications and painted over any evidence that it belonged to them. But apparently they heard about that
I'm sure
with
you
the
have.
recording device.
I would expect nothing less. So that's plus you said you went to the House of Rhodes and spoke to the Earl himself?
Yes.
What?
And I did scry on him. It is him over there listening to the recordings.
And he put a recording device in one of our Warforged?
Yes, in Dennis.
Against your wishes?
Oh.
He
I
said
know
nothing of the kind, that it was there. I happened to find it when I was trying to figure out what was wrong with them. When they came back, they just tried to reawaken them, and it wasn't working.
He's going to go sit back down and pick up his cup. As I mentioned before, no small detail is to be glossed over. What did... Who was with you for this?
Frey. That's it. Frey, Bob, and Dennis.
What? Take me back to... This was just... yesterday? This morning? What?
Early this morning, yes. I had not slept yet.
Okay, Hector.
But...
Okay, all right. What did this conversation sound like? You said you told him not to reprogram, and he did, and fix the leg. Anything else?
I asked him to fix the leg, to not reprogram them. I wanted to go back. He said, you cannot be in the workshop. And Bob went in to make sure everything was all right for me. It was several hours, and he encouraged several times that I didn't have to stay, that I could go and come back.
All right.
I insisted. Frey went and named a few more Warforged around the house, and
some of them are naming each other too. It's great. I'm a genius.
That's quite ingenious.
And he gave his word that they would not be reprogrammed when he brought them in, and they had been. He said, "I thought I told them to not do it. I am so sorry." And when I complained and said, how you gave your word, how are we going to deal with this? He essentially said to send mother and father to talk to him instead, like I was a child.
When you mentioned this, he's going to put his cup back down and kind of lean back in his chair.
Which, yes, if he knows that they were replaced, then he's not scared of mother and father coming.
Well, that's quite an interesting thing to say, though, isn't it? I mean, on one hand, if the House of Rhodes, specifically the Earl, would be involved in any sort of behind-the-curtain planning, one way to tell would be to send mother and father. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because we don't really deal with House of Rhodes at all, except for council meetings and things. So
no,
that doesn't make much sense at all. I mean, you're part of a noble house. You can take care of your own business.
Yes, that's why it was rather rude.
And this is before or after you discovered that mother and father were, well, I guess it would be after, right?
After, yes. We had already rescued mother. I had been making excuses that she was ill and father was tending to her, which was not exactly untrue. Somewhat untrue.
And the Countess will say, I mean, quite honestly, I can only recall a handful of times that your father and the Earl may have conversated outside of council meetings on one hand. That doesn't really make a lot of sense at all, unless, as you say, he knew that he would like the outcome of that conversation. Well, perhaps I should go over and talk to the Earl.
I'm not sure that's a good idea, because if he is part of this, as he likely is,
I will beat that information out of him and get father back.
Can I go?
At the very least, let us come along as an entourage. It is not safe. And we should continue the lie that mother and father are home.
Make an insight check. Persephone, Sharonford, Vanderoff, Kearney.
Advantage?
Yeah, it's your brother, yeah.
Okay. One was a nat 1, the other was not fantastic.
Okay.
Perception, no, insight. Oh, 11.
11? It's okay. With an 11, some of the rest of you might pick up on this a little bit, but at the thought, when you hear him say about, going over and beating it out of him, that sounds like a pretty Renard thing to do when it comes to intense situations. You've seen Percy draw her gun. Deimos has his own flair. When it comes to an intense emotional thing, it's a Renard rite of passage almost, right? Especially when it comes to your dad. So you can tell he's getting a little hot-headed, and the thought of not going and just marching over there he's definitely going to hold that back just because you asked him to. And another thing too, that's a big difference between Deimos and your dad is, although they're very similar in lots of ways, your father was flamboyant and fun, and he still has a serious side, but Deimos is very quick to come to judgment and go do something. Your father takes it in and really gets all angles before making a decision. That's probably one of the biggest differences between your dad and Deimos, is that the experience factor would be the difference.
Not seasoned enough. Yeah.
Not seasoned enough, right? Seasoned to a point where he's listened to this part, he's gotten to here, and now that, as he mentioned before about pulling on a thread, well, he's gonna go beat a thread and see where it goes.
You guys don't really do de-escalation, do you?
Not when it comes to family, no. Yes, not the Renard.
No, I like it. Not judging at all. It's fantastic.
Oh, good. Okay.
No. Messing with our house is a death sentence from one of us.
What's that, Kev?
Point.
Yeah, but what we really need is more information. So rather than going across to the House of Rhodes, all guns blazing, as much fun as that would be to see,
it would be.
I'm sure it would be.
Too.
Yeah, but rather go in and gather information.
It's just
how do you propose we do that?
I could see you in about an hour.
And my plan with dealing with the house and the listening device, for starters, is to set up doubt. Pretend like it was not really me and Frey that had gone over. That everything they had heard as we walked back was not us. So that if he does present the recordings, we can reasonably argue that that is not us. Somebody is pulling the wool over his eyes, or he is trying to set us up.
My only worry is that we're trying to do these extravagant plans, and they're going to take time. And what we've seen so far is that these demons can do stuff really fast.
Yeah.
And the more moving parts, the more likely something is to break. So
it's not necessarily really fast, though. This plan has been months in the making. They replaced mother and father months ago. They had arranged for me to be the bride of this wedding about 2 months ago, and they have worked their way up to this, planning for this full moon.
Well, which also means they've had a way to communicate with the other side. So if one of them was like, all we need to do is have this, I have this now, let's do this, people will probably already know. It's been way over 12 hours since they've heard you.
Yeah.
Usually if someone goes missing, you have 48 hours, then it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get the importance of planning, but we're just over planning at this point. We need to do something.
Yes, I agree. My fist to his little dwarven face until he tells me the
Deimos.
information that we're looking for would be a good
I like
start.
your brother. Your brother's awesome.
Demos.
I found it is a very quick way to get to a point when...
And if it doesn't solve
Diplomacy
anything now, it's
ends.
caused...
Yeah, but in this city at the moment, if we go off the assumption that the House of Rhodes and the House of Courts are being controlled by Loth servants, so you go over to the House of Rhodes kickoff, they grab you, arrest you, the House of Courts,
And-
they call the rules, arrest you, and therefore you're never seen again. You're just mysteriously in prison. But
And considering that
groups
they
take
had
over.
replaced mother and father,
yeah,
they have control of the House of Rhodes, they have control of the House of Courts. There's
Yeah.
nothing to keep us from believing that they have control over the House of Gold as well, whether through replacement, blackmail, or they're just outright allied with them.
it's just safer to assume that the House of Gold is also controlled at the moment. 'cause
So if we go in there guns blazing, then we will seem like the bad guys, and then we'll have every reason to
Wait,
turn.
who's Calypso's husband again? I know he's important
Not to
in
be
one of the
confused,
houses.
his name is Nudal, not Woodall. Nudal.
He's a House of Gold.
No, he is a totally separate thing. He
He
controls
is
a very
not.
large...
He
Go ahead,
controls
you
the
can
name.
tell. You can-
Like.
Let
Okay.
Persephone tell you. What am I doing all
It's
the
alright.
talking?
I remember now. I remember now. It is. Yeah. Okay.
He's not noble.
They're just in love.
Arranged marriage.
They're in love.
Baby daddy.
Well, I was going to be on board with it until you said that.
Calypso's baby daddy, yep.
Did you not think that any of my parents were in arranged marriage? What the false ones wanted from me was an arranged marriage. Calypso's is an arranged marriage. Andromeda's will be an arranged marriage. It's just...
it's a higher up thing.
I'm
yes.
sorry.
The more I hear about this city, the less I like it.
It's not just the city, it's
But
any...
Look, more to the point, like, at this point in time, if they're already in control of all the other influential city families, then anything we do isn't gonna fucking matter, they're gonna slander us anyway. We need to do
I
something
think-
now. If it backfires, fuck, that sucks. If it doesn't backfire, we find out that, yeah, they're gonna attack us, awesome, great. But either way, something's being done, progress is being made in some direction, and we're not sitting here just talking to each other for hours.
I would rather
Don't
not
blow the fuck,
leave my
don't
city
blow those
in
bugs the fuck up and get going.
ruins.
Your city is technically already in ruins.
Yes.
Okay, how's this for an idea then? You and Mr. Deimos here want to kick up a big fuss.
And Vault.
Yeah. And Vault wants to kick up a big fuss. So we send Deimos, we send Frey, we send Vault to kick up a big fuss to talk to the Earl at the front of the building and make a loud noise and big spectacle. And some of us that can be a bit quieter can fit into smaller gaps, go in and see if we can find the location of this listening device receiver and get hold of that.
I can try to remove it without any
No.
noise so they don't know, and then there's no
Yeah.
evidence that it was there, and the recording... If
And I could
use
go
it.
in and try and find where the master recording is.
Because if I can
Whilst-
get rid of it without any sign and any indication, then even if they present the recording, then we can say it wasn't here.
Yeah.
Go look.
Sounds like two birds with one stone, then, yes? And you mentioned about this recording device before. How much did they hear your conversations before you found this device? And not only how much, but the topics of discussion, I think, would be important.
So, on the way back, we mentioned that we've been waking up the Warforged by naming them. We mentioned that we both wanted to burn the House of Rhodes down and burn the Earl, make him pay for this. I mentioned that I had the rig that used to be theirs. What else was there, Frey? Was that it?
Oh, wonderful. So
something
literally
about,
everything that you've just told me, they know all of this too. Okay.
You're talking
Yes.
about doing some sort of like espionage nonsense to make it look like they're bad people and they stole
Yes.
designs or some shit. That was
Yes.
I mean, they are
Alright.
bad people. But...
Well, that is certainly a problem.
Yes.
Well then.
I think that's why we should move a little faster than normal.
Yes. But, so...
And by
If-
the way, since you guys had like this long rest and this, I mean, it's dinner and things. It's, what did we say? It was like 4 o'clock when you just woke up. No, it's
Mhm.
later than that because you guys went to bed at like 11 or 12. So it's like
It was like
7-ish.
6.
Yeah, 6 or
Yeah.
7. Yeah,
Is my arm okay yet?
well, how long did I say it would
3
take?
hours.
3
You
hours?
said 3 hours before, yeah.
It's been like 1.
God damn.
So
Will it
Looks
help
cool.
if I cool him off with wind? Just constantly. Just air dry him.
While you're eating,
It helps
Yeah.
with my sunburn.
just put some aloe on it.
Mhm.
So if the three of you go over, don't make it aggressive. Make it about his
Make it loud and
breaking
long.
his.
Oh,
Yes.
I can do that.
Don't make it a fight. Make it an argument about you gave your word. What sort of compensation can we receive for you breaking it?
So we want
Slander
a
against
refund.
word. He's gone against his noble
To
word.
the
and
manager,
his
yes.
house.
Just-
Yeah.
So you want
So
me
you
to
want,
pull a
you want to
Karen?
you want to pull a Karen? I've heard of that. move
Karen,
before.
yes.
You want to-
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Pull a Karen while I go and
Well,
rummage
he'll-
around in the back storage.
Yes.
Calypso
And at the
goes,
same
I mean,
time,
I'm pregnant. I mean, I could certainly just let my hormones fly.
Oh,
Yeah, but if he is bad, I don't want you to get hurt.
I'm
Yeah,
I want to make sure that
I
those
just have
that
lots
go
of things
can
going on
defend
inside.
themselves.
Lots of emotions.
I know, but
All right.
you don't want to risk the baby in case
Just-
something does get out of hand.
Just trying to help. That's all.
I know. I appreciate
You can
it.
definitely coach me before I go. I could definitely use some.
And if you'd like, you can assist me in removing the listening device.
Yes, speaking of such, when's the last time you spoke in front of it or seen it? Are you trying
Before
to leave
I-
it? Are you just going
they're-
to leave it in there?
They're in my closet.
Alright.
I was acting with the plan that I would put them in the closet and then find them for the first time and run with my plan of it wasn't really us. So anything that they get from now on, I would be like, oh, what are you doing in the closet? Are you alright? Why aren't you saying your names? What's wrong? And that way, any recording after that will be evidence towards
I have a thought.
a frame.
Again, another strong tactic in the field of battle is knowledge. Numbers can certainly mean one thing, weapons, supplies, but intelligence, now that is a powerful ally. Knowing more
False
than your,
intelligence.
more than,
I've-
knowing more than your opponents can certainly turn
Enough.
the tide.
And I've thought of giving them false intelligence as well, but I
Yes.
thought it was too risky with what
We-
they actually gained from us.
We know something that they don't. Not only are we somewhat onto them, with the asterisk of we don't know. I could go remove that asterisk myself, but if you want to do it a more interesting way, we could set somewhat of a trap for them, yes?
I like this. Where are you going?
Well, what I'm saying is that you know that this device is there, but they don't know that you know that, yes?
As far as we know.
I don't like that it's been a
might-
very long time that you haven't talked in front of it.
That was another thing that they might be suspicious if we start now.
How long
since
has it
it's-
been?
Well, let's see. We got them back. I fretted over them in the foyer and found the listening device and then went in the other room to explain that I found the listening device to frame sticks and then put them in my closet and that was it. So, like this morning.
But, and then you went to do what?
Well, they might have picked up me shouting at Volt through my door since they're in my closet.
Alright, but when we all arrived here from our trade negotiations with Nadol, you all were asleep for the most part. So I mean, if you're... How well is your acting, Persephone? Could you yawn a bit, or... How long has it been since you woke up? Perhaps they might have heard that. I don't know how all this works, but...
Well, I was up for about an hour augmenting my journal in case I needed to use that for evidence. And so they did hear Volt banging on my door and me telling him I'd be out later. So that was...
Again, I'm not saying this is a plan that you necessarily have to do. I'm just merely suggesting that, again, knowledge that you know that they're listening and they don't, we could try to use that to our advantage. One way or another, this needs to happen sooner than later. Yes, because the longer we wait, it's one more day that Father is not back where he needs to be at home. So, I'm open to suggestions. Perhaps you all need the evening to think about it, and tomorrow, I think something needs to be put into some sort of motion. Kind of, and he'll look over to the Countess for that, and she'll kind of think for a moment and just give a subtle nod to that.
Even if I remove the device, I can keep it. I can figure out how to switch it off, switch it back on, or put it in a soundproof case.
Well, do you think removing the device might lead them on to showing our hand that we know that it's there? That literally loses the advantage that I just mentioned. That
no, my thought was if I can remove it without it deactivating, if it can still be working, I can put it in a box so we can control what they hear. We open the box, we act like we're talking around the Warforged. We seal it back up. They don't hear anything that they're not supposed to, but we can still feed them information.
Well, we could just double agent them. I could talk to the bots like they were mine, spying on you guys in the first place. And then when they changed the whole planning, I'm upset because now my spying mission is broken.
Interesting.
I am the newest one. I did have a girlfriend who was in the organization.
That's not bad, actually.
Well, she is dead.
And then perhaps if there is any sort of foul play, which we already have a lot of breadcrumbs, let alone they put a device in your thing to listen to us all, you think perhaps maybe they might try to reach out to you?
Maybe.
You do know Undercommon.
Yes, and Elvish, and
so if you say a little Undercommon and hint that whether or not you're part of the organization, you are a possible ally. You are favorable to their goals. No matter what we do, I do believe that we should attempt to recover the recording and find out what else they have.
And Rosalind has kind of taken all this in, very confused and like intrigued, but also lots of things going over her head. She sounds worried at some parts. She gasps when Deimos is going to go fight, and then she goes, I think I'm just going to go to bed now. This is just such a dreadful day. We came for a wedding and then found out there was none, and now there's talks of espionages and terrible agents. It's just too much. Higgins! And you'll see Higgins like pull out her chair and they'll just waddle upstairs.
I him.
A joy to see you again, Aunt Rosalind. Aren't you glad that I came to visit in Azros?
I do fear for my home, but it's good to be here. It's just family is the safest at this time, I think. And she'll go upstairs.
As soon as she's out of the room, I grab my scrying orb and make sure that it's her.
Sure, yeah. What is that, a wisdom saving throw or something?
Yeah. And because I'm familiar with her, that augments it like -5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So much more likely for me to succeed.
Yeah, it's her.
Okay, just double checking. I'm checking Higgins too.
Double checking Higgins?
That's just smart.
Well, yes, because no one's going to pay attention to the help.
No one ever looks at the butler.
The butler did it!
That's all I've been paying attention to.
Butler, the kitchen and the crowbar.
What's the DC on the orb?
17.
Like
2.
17.
Yeah, it's him.
Okay. Just double
Alive
checking.
for tonight at least.
For today. for this moment.
Up those stairs so fast.
With almost like, you know, when you go to a party, it's almost like, you know, we wait for that one person to leave, and that's like the domino effect that other people are like, oh good, now I'm not the only. You'll see Calypso and the Countess and Deimos kind of almost take that nonverbal cue of, yes, it's been a long day of cleaning and straightening up. We have to get our house back in order, not just the physical, but the family. I'm glad that everyone here is safe. We are missing a key piece, and we need to get that back.
Yes.
And he'll escort Calypso and the Countess upstairs as well. So the dining room is yours, Gearhearts.
Wait, did Deimos go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when he leaves, I'm gonna be like, oh shoot, and I'm gonna run. And I'm gonna go into his room, and I'm just gonna like start scooping up all my things, and I'm just gonna like carry them out.
Oh,
Your room is clean now. I'm gonna
he's
go
on
back
the
downstairs.
other side of the hall, like taking he's taking the Countess to her room first, and you kind of run past, and he catches you as he's taking Calypso to her room, and you kind of, room's clean, and just make a perception check real quick.
-1.
2.
Damn it, Crab! Every time you need to. That's cocked. But let me not roll on my notebook because it keeps landing in the crevice.
2.
3.
Stop! I already rolled it, but you're making me nervous. Perception. 13.
You swear you hear him mumble something to Calypso as you're like running down the stairs and he's walking her over. So it's one of two things: either, oh, she's an odd one, or it's gonna be a cold one. You don't know what he said, but it's one of those two things.
No, it won't be chilly. I closed the window in your room. It's fine.
Don't know which one of those two sentences because you're clickety-clacking down the marble stairs and things, and Misfit's very confused. He like follows you up, and then like you run over here, but he runs back out and just doesn't know what to do.
Oh, hi. I was told to introduce myself. I'm Voltao, a 15-year-old storm chaser. My friends call me Volt. I got the nickname because I like storms. I know, shocking, right? Did I get that pun right? Is that okay? Is that good? Okay, good. Well, I'm from a small island named Akari in the Sea of Radiance. My home is known for elementals fighting off the coast every 10 years. I was on the beach for one of these fights, watching a giant snake made of clouds fighting a water elemental. After that, I was hooked. It made me want to become a storm chaser, so I headed to the mainland to see if I could find any other storms that aren't on my island. Some people tell me I get excited when I talk about storms, but what can I say? They're so cool. I really hope that I can find other people who like storms. Yeah, like crazy storms, like when the wind blows from a cold to a hot and makes a tornado that can destroy an entire village by just going through it. Wait, we're out of time? No, but it was just getting good.
Freylost Akra has always been a strong-minded sort, even from his early days among the orphans abandoned at the gates of Grimjaw's compound. He was hand-selected to undergo training to become an elite shock trooper under the God tier to maintain order throughout the known lands. He maintained this reputation during his training, holding a standing record for returning other platoons as lost flags, as well as a record for the most successful captures on training missions and the most, disciplinary paperwork for refusal of orders. He was an excellent shock trooper with a bit of a mind of his own, and may have risen high among those of lofty ideals were it not for that day. That fateful day, wherein he was ordered to take part in the summary execution of a small village of reformed criminals for not more than seeking a better life than the one levied upon them by the prisons they had slowly broken free of. You see, while the rest of his squad saw hardened criminals, Freylost saw people trying to make the most of what they had, far away from any who could come to harm for it. While the rest of his squad fell too, Freylost fell away, off into the wilds until he hit a point where he could run no more, drifting off into sleep. In his dreams, he was made an offer, a chance to understand why the world behaved the way it did, why it could be so brutal, so unforgiving, and more importantly, how he could change it. All he need do was step away from his home and squad, and continue seeking power under the guidance of this new force. He awoke with an unfamiliar mask, an unfamiliar guide, and an all too familiar need to take action.
Oh goodness, where to begin? Growing up in a bunker alone with only her father and her mechanical dragon, Misfit, Ilona Lewin often felt isolated and alone for the first 24 years of her existence. Forbidden from venturing into the apocalyptic wasteland she was told lay beyond the bunker door, she often dreamed of having her own adventures. After her father left one day and never returned, she had no choice but to leave home and was enthused to discover the world that she thought had been destroyed was so alive. There was so much beauty, so much wonder, so many new friends to meet, and Ilona wasn't going to waste any time. She set off with nothing but her father's coat and her mechanical best friend to find answers to so many of the questions she had. Did bees really have leaves? What did the ocean look like? I wonder if there are actually fish larger than dragons, like I've read about. There were so many adventures to be had. So why had her father locked her away and kept her from knowing such a wonderful and magnificent place filled with so many great people? Ilona made friends with anyone she had even half a conversation with, but soon found herself closely bonded with a group of adventurers training to be part of the Glory Hounds, a marvelous skill that she had already accidentally sort of stumbled into, but she is officially a member. Probably. Choosing to stay with these gearhearts, Ilona soon began to learn that this world was not as perfect as she first thought it to be. So many friends in this world would lie and hurt people. There was a darkness to the world that even she couldn't avoid seeing. But never fear, this girl was raised on fairy tales, stories where monsters were always slain, good always triumphs over evil, and the heroes always stand victorious. It's going to take a lot more than evil plots and devious villains to make Ilona, regret ever leaving that bunker.
Well, hello there. Name's Jill Woodtick. My friends call me Jill. I'm a lizard folk, as you can plainly see, and this here is my introduction. I was born in what most Soskins called the Savage Swamplands. I, however, called it home, till I was run out for hunting too much. Ugh, bunch of bull. They were just jealous I was better at hunting than them. Where was I? Oh yeah, left swamp. Yeah, I left the swamp. Eventually found myself in the company of some soft-skinned mercs. They needed some muscle. I obliged. Spent a long time with them. Grew fond of them. And then one day, they died. A rival company, the Red Buzzards, thought we were moving in on their turf. So, they killed all of them. Except me. Thought they could make a spectacle of me. So they sent me over to an arena to fight forever till I died. I wasn't happy with this. So, one day, during a really nasty riot, I snuck out and escaped. I got nicked on the way out though, so had to lay low for a few months while that healed. Eventually, when I was good and ready, I heard rumors of a new merc company opening up in Azeros, so I made my way there to hide myself among them, gather some strength and information so I can kill me some red buzzards. And that's how I met the Glory Hounds.
Persephone Sharonford Vanderolf Kearney de Renard III, fourth child of Viscount Zephyros de Renard, daughter of the House of Blades. At your service. But don't let my good breeding fool you. My family not only rules Theros with the other three houses, but we also control its military. As a child, instead of playing with dolls and learning how to arrange flowers, like my sisters, I studied combat and tactics with my brothers, and I was rather good at it. Then I discovered engineering and constructed my first firearm, Requiem. Life was going well, until I overheard my parents discussing an arranged marriage for me. Having already been thoroughly disillusioned about the bliss that is usually associated with marriage, I did the only thing I could. Claimed I was going for a long visit with Great Aunt Rosalind in Upper Azeros, took the longer route by land, and remained in Lower Azeros instead. I calculated it would be around 2 months before anyone showed up looking for me, by which time I would be long gone, a false name hiding my trail. Unfortunately, I miscalculated. Far too soon I heard that my eldest sister, Calypso, was in town looking for me. My miscalculation, father's choice and agent, and the sudden discovery that a band of thugs have been seeking to kidnap Calypso left me less than ecstatic. I had little choice but to reveal my identity to my new allies, and escort my sister back to the safety of our estate in Imbrick, hopefully drawing out the brigands in the process. So far, things are going about as well as everything else lately.
Styx ain't had the easiest of lives, but what he has lived through has made him the goblin he is today. He was born and raised in this tiny village situated in the forest that surrounds the Shadowvale Mountains. Life was peaceful until the night the heroes came to visit and threw his life into darkness. Alone and afraid in a world he didn't understand, he sought shelter in the only place he could find, the ruins he had heard about as a child buried deep within the Shadowvale Mountain. Just one problem with that: the ruins weren't empty. The years passed filled with pain, fear and solitude until he was rescued by his now closest friend Kylar. This fateful day would change Styx's life forever. He was no longer alone in the world. He had friends, he had a family, he had a cause to fight for. Styx is now a blood hunter and a member of the Claret Order, those who fight against the darkness and the things that would use the darkness as a weapon. His training now complete, he has decided to travel and expand his knowledge of the world and the secrets it hides. Eventually, his travels led him to Lower Azero and the Guild Hall of the Glory Hounds. Little did Styx know that this one act of accepting work would have such a big impact on his life. Styx now has some new comrades and new friends to explore the world with, and new ways to look at the world. He has found a talent for magic he didn't know about, and through this magic, his familiar, Acheron. The shadows of his past are once again looming behind Styx, but Styx knows he has friends to help him. He ain't alone anymore, and he ain't afraid anymore. He's still the same goblin he's always been, but one thing he knows for sure. It's true what they say, mate. What don't kill you can scar you for life. But the drink helps.
And I'll go dump myself on the kitchen table.
Hector goes to bed too. Sorry, forgot about him. Good night, everybody!
Good night, Hector. You should try about the ring again tomorrow.
I'm gonna stop outside the main door. I'm gonna be like, Volt, can you come help me with something real quick?
This is gonna be bad.
It's gonna be the best.
So I'm gonna go out there like if I'm in trouble. Because I have her letter.
Wait, why? What's wrong?
So I took this from the room that you're in. It looked important. I didn't want you to feel bad. I didn't read it. I'm gonna hand you back your fixed letter. Okay.
Oh, that's fine. I just shove it in my pocket. So, no, you're not in trouble or anything. No. I need your help with something. Okay, so you know Frey's mask.
Yeah.
It's lying to him, and for whatever reason,
are you saying it's talking to him?
Yes, it talks to him. I talked to it for a little bit, but it's not very nice. I tried to determine what it is exactly, and it either laughed at me or told me no, which something that does not want to be discovered is something that has something to hide. So a while back, you weren't here, this was shortly before you stumbled upon our group, it was revealed to him that some of his memories were fake. I have a suspicion that there's more that the mask is not telling him.
Fake news.
And I'll hand him a scroll, this will remove that effect. He'll remember everything, exactly how it happened. And I'm hoping...
So you don't want to take away the mask from him. You want to take away what is stopping his brain? but also give me 1 second. Don't get offended what I'm about to do. It's nothing personal. I just need to check. I'm gonna touch your face.
Why are you touching my face?
Because you're saying that his mask is talking to you. I just want to make sure that you're not a booger monster. I just gotta check. I gotta check. Just
let me have this.
I'll wait for him. I'll wait.
She's touched other people's faces.
Then I realize she's not a booger monster. Okay. I look at Misfit. No, I trust you. You're fine.
Well, that's fair. Slightly hurtful.
That would be
fair.
a weird thing in disguise for a booger monster.
Okay, so the problem
like
is
Transformers into a fucking. Anyway, continue.
The problem is I can't cast this because I'm not familiar with this particular type of magic. So I need you to cast it.
So rule question, do I have to be that level cleric to cast this? Or just be a little bit of cleric and have spell slots that can cast it?
As long as you're that type, then if it's higher than you can cast, there's a roll that you have to make.
Yeah, if it's higher than you can cast, I believe, of that class's spell list as well, then you have to make the roll.
Because I'm only 2 clerics, so it would have to be at least 5 to cast
It's 10 plus the DC, I believe.
Yeah,
or
but
10
if a
plus
level,
spell level,
if a level 1 wizard gets a hold of a level 9 spell scroll, they can still try. It's just not going to be likely.
So I have to roll for it because I'm not that level of it.
Yeah, so
roll a wisdom ability check beat a 13.
Yeah. Come on, buddy.
I don't know if that will work. Alright, so I don't feel super comfortable with this.
10, it's 10 plus the spell level.
Okay.
13.
So, but if it's an ability check, guidance. Sorry.
So here's the thing. I'm going to, so the thing is, it's just that this mask has lied to him before, straight up lied to him, and he knows that it lied to him, and I can't figure out for the life of me why he suddenly trusts it now. And so I want to show him that this mask is still lying to him, and if it's not, then great, that's fine, whatever. But he doesn't seem to understand, and I don't understand, and it's just, he needs to be smart about this, because I feel like he's being not smart about this, and it's infuriating because I'm trying to help him and protect him, and he's not listening to me. He's listening to this thing that's attached to his face that straight up lied to him and showed him things, and I've never lied to him, so why would he trust that over me? That doesn't make any sense. Just because it's your dad doesn't mean that you can trust it. So, fucking win.
Go on.
Fucking win.
I would still want to ask him, because it's kind of...
No, here's the thing. You can't because the mask is always watching. The mask knows whenever I'm about to do something.
You sound so crazy right now.
Yeah.
I know I do. It knows whenever I'm about to do something. That's why it laughed at me whenever I tried to find something out about it before, and that's why it told me no, because it knew I was trying to figure something out. So here's what I'm thinking. You need to sort of hold the spell so that you can cast it at a split second's notice, and then I'm going to, I don't know, drop something and be like, oh my gosh, Frey, you're so strong, we need your help carrying this. And then he'll come out, and when he does, you slap him in the face, you remove that curse, and, well, not literally slap him in the face, but you know what I mean. You touch him, and the curse will be removed.
Okay, but what happens if it takes away his powers and his connection to said dad, which is his deity, which I understand that side of a person, because that's kind of a connection you don't really mess with. It's kind of in your body.
Do we want him to be connected to something that's going to lie about something that happened to him?
Parents lie.
I know, and it's fucked up. It's not okay.
Ooh.
I see where this is going. Okay. I'm in a minefield. I don't know how to get out of this one. I'm gonna cast levitate. I'm gonna cast levitate and slowly back away. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Look, Frey is
so
strong.
Frey and I have gotten closer, yes, but I'm worried that, like, something bad will happen if we do this. Because what happens if this thing is the only reason Frey is Frey? And if Frey's not Frey and Frey is something else.
Frey is more than that mask. He's more talented than whatever that mask grants him.
what happens if there's a curse that's stopping the mask from fully controlling him? And I go to dispel it or remove it, and that opens the floodgates.
I think the thing that is stopping the memories is the thing that's in control of the mask. So if you wanted to completely control Frey, he wouldn't be blocking himself from it.
So you want me just to remove the curse part that's affecting his memory?
Yes.
And that is it?
Yes, the rest will be up to Frey to decide. But
Okay.
I want him to know the whole truth. Sticks.
To hold him down with his rope thingy.
Because
he's definitely going to get angry no matter how the outcome is going to come, and I need at least 3 seconds to run.
Well, that's fine. I will stand between you and him. This is on me.
I'm going to need at least 4 seconds to run then.
That's fine. I have some boots. Actually, no, I don't have boots you can borrow. Never mind.
I can run fast. It's just...
You just pawn these boots off on everyone.
But okay, look here. Let me just. I'll touch you. I'll cast Shield of Faith.
You hear Mervin
so that you
like,
have a boost to AC.
Okay.
So this will help you in case he gets mad to come after you. I'm going to stand between you, so I'll be the first target because if anyone's going to get punched in this situation, it's going to be me. Misfit will also help. He'll guard you.
Okay.
Okay. So, but are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. I will cast guidance on myself.
Okay. Remember, hold the spell. Don't even give the mask a second to figure out what you're doing until it happens.
I'm not even knowing what I'm doing, so he can't tell what I'm doing. So we're fine.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna like, I don't know, pick up a book and drop it. The storybook. I'm gonna pick it up and drop it and make a thud noise and be like, darn it, Frey, can you come out here and help too?
Well, yeah, sure. I'm kind of in the middle of eating, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's super important.
All right, I got you. Just get up and start heading towards the...
Okay. Am I still Frey's food?
Okay.
Jill, I see you doing that. Jill, I will come back for you.
Jill and Styx, you guys are left alone. Oh, no, Percy's there too. Yep, the three of you just hanging out. Yep.
Okay.
Jill just leans in.
Yeah,
so Frey, when you go out to the Hall of Swords there, you see Volt and Styx kind of hanging out. Ilona,
well, Styx isn't there.
Oh, I thought Styx was there too. Okay.
No, Styx is at the table drinking alcohol and reading through his spellbook.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you went with him. Okay. So the four of you, okay. Sorry, I got my people confused here. Okay, continue. All right, so Ilona's very perturbed about something. What could it be? Go ahead, Ilona.
Hi, it's just there's a lot of things, and I need your help carrying it because you're big and strong, and I need your help because you're strong, and I'm so weak and helpless. I'm gonna be kind of like looking at Volt.
Well, I'm gonna see if there's a range. So
I wouldn't go that far. We're usually pretty self-sufficient. Misfit's always helpful, but sure. What are we moving?
As soon as he goes for the book, I'm doing it, and I'm only targeting something that would affect his memory.
You don't have any choice to remove curse. It affects.
Oh fuck!
Yep.
Dispel magic is different, but not remove curse.
I'm actually about to scroll and modify memory.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna try, but
Oh god.
we'll see what happens.
I'm scared.
This should be funny.
Okay, so explain to me the situation so I can see what kind of if we have to make any rules for this.
Ilona's distracting. Frey might help Ilona, and as soon as he's distracted, I'm casting Remove Curse onto him and waiting for it to take effect and dipping as fast as I possibly can.
Okay.
Frey thinks this is super suspicious, definitely a prank, and he's ready to run the fuck away.
Okay. Good
Especially after that shit you guys pulled a fox, you assholes.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Not
There's
even
no
24
technical
hours
rule,
ago, the wounds are still fresh, of... Ah! So, Alona. So you are just trying to distract Frey with picking up a book.
Well, whenever he says, "Okay, what do we need to move?" I'm gonna realize that a book is not strong enough, and I'm gonna look around. Is there like a chair or something in the table?
There's shit
anything?
all over. The doors are still there. They didn't get a chance to fix the doors yet because they primarily focus on the kitchen and the dining hall. They're kind of
okay.
They were moving their way from back to front.
Well, then I'm gonna say, well, it's just the doors are wide open, and Deimos made a good point about it being cold, so I wanted to just sort of see if you could prop the doors up because I'm not that strong.
Is it actually cold this time of year?
What season is it?
I don't know.
This is... It's like fall. It's like what we would consider fall. Heading into winter and stuff, yeah.
So, Misfit and I can... But Volt's going to kind of guide us, and tell us where to put it, but I need your help. So just come on.
You guys aren't trying to pull some shit like you did with Fox, are you?
Roll an insight check.
Can I roll a deception?
Whoever wants to roll deceptions, just so I can see how this is going.
Want to give me advantage, Alona?
Yeah, can I give him advantage?
26. Yeah, because you are distracting, yeah, kind of in a way. Insight? I mean, just the fact that, they did pull pranks earlier, it's a little weird, but I mean, at the same time, you kind of weigh it out real quick in your mind of prank versus, doors being blown off. I mean, at least putting them up to give the appearance that there's doors might detract people away, so even though they're not fixed, it makes sense, sure, yeah, we can't just leave doors hanging out. Yeah, let's at least prop them up, make it look like the doors are fixed. Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
I'm just trying to help.
Right. Okay. Sure. I guess help me kind of walk up the door and I'll lift you. Try to get over there, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely standing towards the center of the door and not leaving much space for it to...
All right, make a strength check as you try to pick up a big fuck all wooden door.
Strength or athletics?
Athletics, because you're picking it up, yeah.
Wow, that was a really shit roll, but 15.
Worse.
Okay. You kind of, put your knees into it, kind of use the pivot fulcrum idea of at least if I get one side up, I can kind of like get it up and like so. I mean, he's starting to pick up a door.
Wait, is Alona actually helping?
Yeah, I'll help.
Yeah. Bend at the knees, get in there good.
Yeah. And then I'll go and I'll put my hand on it to look into the door, and as soon as I touch him, I'm gonna cast it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Where are you touching him at?
On his back.
Okay. All right. So you kind of roll, you run up like you're gonna help with the door, and you lift it up a little bit. And as everyone starts to lift together, you're gonna let go.
I'm gonna hold his back like I'm trying to help him lift from the shoulders.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Like in a cartoon.
Yeah. Okay. 13. Right. Oh my god, I beat a 13. Oh my god, I did a 17.
Okay. So
my heart is pounding so fast.
Oh my god, I'm so stressed.
Guess I can lose my cool arm after this shit. I'm gonna be upset.
I know, me too.
So,
oh god.
As you cast this,
oh boy.
Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Hold on.
If demon pops out, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Veyron leaps off my face somehow.
Oh my god, it's
you now have to fight a god. Have luck.
It binds with Bolt.
Just to make sure.
That's even more terrifying.
Just to make sure.
Jesus.
So, as you do this cartoony kind of idea and try to help Frey from the back, and Frey, you feel Volt behind you and pushing you. Oh, okay, he's helping you push. Okay. And you start to push this up. You look down at the scroll and start to read the magic incantation on it. And as you start to read it, you see the words highlight as you read. And as they highlight, they not only they almost like burn off the paper. And at the very end, once you cast this, as quick as you can, the whole scroll just erupts in this mini flame of dust. And you hold it, and you see in your hand that you're touching into Frey this like blue, light blue, dark blue, white, all these coalescing colors from your hand with a little bit of electric shock, from your background, sparks into him. And as it looks like it's about to like seep into his skin, it gets pulsed back into you, and you fall backwards onto the ground.
The fuck was that?
I have no idea.
It's
not a lie.
It's seemingly. Go ahead and make an Arcana check, Volt.
Can I make one too?
You didn't see
If
it,
you want to,
I
it'd be a
think.
disadvantage because you necessarily didn't see what just happened. You're helping with
And
That's
it'd
fine.
be a 15.
That's fine.
Arcana. That's high enough to know that you know how spells work enough when it affects a person. It doesn't. You don't know exactly all the ins and outs of what just happened, especially with a spell that.
Is this because I didn't roll high enough for it? Because this would just be for using the spell. If I had to roll again, I would have to roll again.
Nope. That part of it was fine.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 20 and a 13, which gives me a total of 21 for my Arcana check.
Fuck. Okay. Out of the corner of your eyes, you're lifting, because this is your plan, right? You want to make sure it goes off without a hilt. So you're like helping lift the door, but you're actually watching as Volt does this, and you see the same thing that he does in terms of it looks like it's about to like seep into his skin, and as it starts to like almost like it's going to take root, it gets amplified and reversed back out into Volt, and he falls backwards on the floor like 5-10 feet away. Just slides on his ass a little bit.
Given my interactions with the mask, did the mask reject it? Did the mask say no?
It would seem with your personal history with this, it would seem that something was rejected here.
No! Okay, I'm gonna drop the door. And I'm
Frey, you're
go
holding the
straight
door
up.
by yourself now. Make another strength check. And there would be a slight, not necessarily like a thunderous clap or anything, but there would be a slight like, whoom, as you go to cast a spell. 13. What did you roll before? 15? Yeah. So you were getting help from the back, and Ilona was like helping lift the door. Now it's not only do you realize that you are lifting this door by yourself, no one is actually helping you, but you actually start to like your knees kind of buckle a little bit. You're still holding it, but it's not going up anymore. It's like
I'm getting out from under and letting it fall.
Okay. Boom, 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 echoing through the hallway. Percy, Styx, Geo, you guys hear this coming down the hallway.
I get up and start walking or running.
Go investigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
I'm walking straight up to Frey. I'm grabbing both sides of his face, and I'm just staring into his mask, and I'd be like, "What? Or just let go of him. Just let go. Give him back everything. You can't." Frey, this mask is not good for you. It's why are you trusting it?
You're grabbing his face?
I am.
Oh
no! Oh no!
Yay.
Can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, I sure as heck cannot.
You'll be fine.
That's a 3.
3.
No!
So as you grab his mask and look
You get to add
into
3 to it, it's a 6.
the,
But still.
the ethereal darkness that is the abyss of his face mask, which as you get a little closer, you do realize now that, last time when you grabbed his face and cast it, it had this weird movement to it, and it ever seemed to be shifting on his face, but it never seemed deviant in a way. It never seemed dangerous. I mean, it's certainly odd, right? But now that you're actually like looking at it up close in the darkness, and now that it's later, like the moon's starting to come up a little bit, like there's lots of weird light play here. It's not only like shifting on his face, but you can actually see these like purple veins kind of walking through it as it shifts and moves. And as you hold onto his face and command into the mask, Veyron to leave Frey alone. No one else sees this, just Ilona. These dark red eyes come out through his mask, and you are frightened of Frey. You feel the need to just get the fuck out of Dodge.
Okay, well, I guess then I will immediately drop his face and just like back against the wall.
And as you start to back away against the wall, in your head you hear just laughter. And Percy and Styx and Jill, you'll come up to like the tail end of this where she's grabbing her face, Volt's kind of off to the side. Frey kind of ducks out of the way of this door, and she's holding, you know, Ilona's holding her face, and she just kind of like backs up away against the wall a little bit. Continue.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
What are you all doing? What's going on?
I get to remake my check at the end of 6 seconds to see if I can calm the heck down. Or what is frightened? I just came close to him, right? And I have disadvantage on attacks?
Yeah.
You can't really get closer.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then, I'm still back against the wall. I'm just... Frey, that mask is hiding things from you. I don't know why, and I don't know what, but it is intentionally deceiving you.
Yeah, it kind of hid the memory of me being semi-responsible for most of my friends' fucking deaths.
It lasts for 1 minute.
Why are you trusting him?
So you would still be backing away while you're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't I? He's literally my dad.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means he's got some sort of goodwill pointed towards me. I mean, look, I get this shit's kind of creepy looking, but it's legitimate power. It's giving me an opportunity to do good in this world.
You can do good without him.
Yeah, sure, but this lets me do better. I don't get what the fuck's going on. What were you guys doing? What did you say? What?
I was trying to remove the curse of your memory modification because I still think that there's things that he's hiding from you. I think you deserve to know the truth.
You couldn't have just talked to me about it? So I could ask him?
Because he's gonna lie to you! Anytime I've tried to determine what that thing is, it has laughed at me and told me no. Frey, it does not have your best interest. Mind, heart, if it even has one?
Look, maybe not. I'm not interested in joining some cult of Veyron or some shit, but right now, our interests align. And he's giving me the power that I need to make serious, lasting changes for the better. I'm gonna keep working with it as long as that's true. I get the concern, but fuck.
What if that changes and he doesn't
More
let you
immediate
leave?
Concerns. Like, see him stop me. Tyr couldn't hold me, why should he be able to?
Because Tyr is different. Tyr is not permanently attached to your face. Tyr is not lying to you every second of the day. Tyr is not the one making you think that all of your friends died long ago.
No, but Tyr was the guiding force for the entirety of my childhood.
Tyr is not directly involved in your life, in your day-to-day choices. This thing is. And I don't care if it's your dad. It has lied to you. And that means it is not to be trusted. I'm trying to help you. I know that it gives you power, but there are other things that give you power. There are other things that can help. This is not your only option, and it is certainly not your best.
I don't agree. This is the best option I have right now. I understand the concern, but this is the way I'm taking Ilona. Look, he's never done anything aggressive towards anybody until you start trying to fuck with him. So stop doing that.
I wasn't trying to fuck with it, Frey. I was trying to understand it.
kind of like thrives on not being understood. From what little I was able to understand of it, you're kind of like crying against his entire fucking nature based on every book, the very rare ones I managed to find about it, the ones that Styx has managed to find about it. He's gonna take offense to that.
I don't care if I offend him. My main concern is you. I don't want this to change you. And it already has, and that terrifies me.
How has it changed me beyond the physical?
You willingly agreed to something. I don't know what, and I don't care about the details. But you put your trust, your faith in this thing that you know has lied to you. You know that has done wrong, and you know that has hurt people. And you did it for power?
That happened long before you met.
You took steps in the wrong direction. And for the wrong reason.
And did right with it.
For now.
The tool doesn't define the person using it. It never will. Just have faith in my ability.
I have faith in you. I just don't trust that thing.
You don't have to trust the thing. You don't have to trust Aaron. Have faith in me. I'm the one who's physically able to interact. Look. See this arm? Waving it around. That's me.
Ow.
Ow. Ow. I shouldn't do that right now.
Death ray! It's all me, guys! I'm sorry, go. No, keep. God damn it. Sorry, go. Keep going. You're doing great.
They're tools. Nothing more.
Yes, but in his eyes, Frey, you are the tool.
Yeah, you know something fun about that? I've already proven to him he can't fucking control me like that. He told me straight up, before any of this started, that we couldn't stop this invasion. Look what we fucking did. We've already surprised him with what we can do. A tool can't surprise you. Can't surprise the one using it.
Say that to a buzzsaw.
Buzzsaws aren't real crap.
They could be.
Not in this
They could
world.
be. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I guess.
Maybe.
Look, well, obviously it has a strong enough hold on you that I can't do anything about it, but that's not going to stop me from trying. And if you don't want me to interfere, then I won't. But just know that the minute he reveals his true self to you, I'm going to do whatever it takes to stop him. And if that hurts you in the process, I'm so sorry, but...
Kinda thought that was a given.
Just be careful.
Cool.
So, looks like we're all having fun.
In this moment of conversation, Frey and Ilona, you knew that Volt was there, and you knew that some of the other ones came up, but now I guess it's more of the realization that all of your friends are standing around you while you have this conversation.
Well, I have some things that I need to do before bed, so... Come on, Misfit. And I will take him to an empty room, that little study area where Fox slept the night before.
Okay. He'll kind of like nuzzle into you a little bit while you guys walk in there.
And I will sit down and I will wipe my tears from my face and I will start working on my misfit modifications. I doubt I'll be able to get through all of them tonight, but I will certainly try.
Sure, go ahead. Roll a. You have
A
Tinker's tools?
D10.
I do have Tinker's tools.
Yeah,
A
roll
D10.
roll a steampunk check. Roll a artificer check.
Is it Tinker's tools? Because I get advantage
Yeah,
if it's
that
Tinker's
one.
tools. Okay.
That's the one.
Yay! And because we long rested and I have my new things, I get to add double proficiency with Tinker's tools. What is Tinker's tools is intelligence, right?
It's whatever he tells you.
4 plus 8 is 12. 25.
Okay. You want to spend the whole night working on Misfit?
35.
Holy
Oh my
fuck.
god.
Well, that jumped from one number to another. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so you guys woke up kind of late. I know you slept a little bit before the rest of the group. You slept a little after Geo, but before the rest of the group. So, yeah, I mean, you have the rest of the night. I mean, it's only like, 8-ish, 9-ish. So if you want to take a couple
Wait, no,
hours...
25. Sorry, 25. I'm done.
That's
25.
okay. That's fine. If you want to take the rest of the night to work on Misfit before you go to bed for a couple hours, yeah, sure. You get...
Yeah, I will do that.
He's kind of like confused, like what the hell's going on right now.
No, it's okay. It's just we're gonna make you stronger.
Okay. As you start to take off some of the pieces and start to, you take off his wings and things, he gets very sad at that.
We'll figure it out one day. I promise. You have not flown your last flight.
Cool. Yeah, you start taking some of the sprockets and gears off and putting it back on, and you have all this magical other things to help you with new pieces and things. So yeah, sure. You want to work on Misfit?
I will work on Misfit. Cool. Yes.
Awesome. All right. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Bo will stand up. Frey, I'm sorry. And he's gonna walk into the study.
I'm just gonna spin and leave. Out the door. Out the front door, he's gone.
Okay.
I am going to follow him.
Smart.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna absolutely, not even to sticks, just to the air, say, we have so many issues, and then just walk back into the dead dining room. And I'm gonna walk back up to my room, and I need to make more Stormheart bombs. So
okay, sure.
That's what I'm working on.
Okay. Cool. That leaves you, Sticks. What do you want to do?
Watching everyone wander off, just kind of shake my head. Go, well, Acheron, Idiom, looks like we've got a job to do tonight. And head out the building towards the House of Rhodes.
Ooh, what are we doing?
Man.
What are we doing, boss? I like the sound in your tone of voice.
We're gonna go.
We're gonna get fucking caught! What? We're gonna die! You hear from
if you
your fucking
told it, we'll be fine. Don't make me leave you there.
You hear for the first time actually Acheron go, shut up, it's fine. The boss has a plan. No, he doesn't! It's gonna go bad! They're like, now Acheron and Idiom can talk to each other.
This is amazing.
Love it.
So much
Yes.
Frey is heading towards the gearhearts to offer his assistance in anything the Guildmaster needs.
The Glory Hounds one? The main hall? Okay. Monak. Okay. Volt, you're tidying in for the evening with Alona while you watch her kind of work on Misfit and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Persephone's going to go work on bombs, and Jill and Frey are going on a walk. Let's start with that. Frey, where are you walking with Jill? You're going to the Glory Hounds.
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay.
I turn on my goggles and look around.
There's 3 up on the roof.
Ah! There's one on your shoulder. Now, so far so good. Nope, nothing. No gargoyles in the air.
Frey is a gargoyle.
This whole
Oh my
time,
god!
just his arm.
Gargoyle arm.
It'll be easy to get rid of then.
Fucking
Oh,
cut
boy.
Shit off. Well, Alona wanted it off, so I'm doing it. And your face. Alright, so I'm just looking at the time here real quick. I'll tell you what, just to make sure I get this in here real quick, I'm going to retcon that for a moment. I'm going to go to Persephone for a second.
Okay.
So as you go up to your room, so Alona and Volt are down the study doing stuff before they go to bed. Persephone, you go up to your room and 30 minutes, an hour, somewhere around that time, kind of hard to tell because you're working on stuff. You hear a at your door.
It's the mafia.
Who is it?
It's Deimos. May I enter?
I'm gonna glance to the closet. One moment, and I'm gonna go out and step out into the hall. They're in the closet, remember?
Oh, all right. I thought you were going to. Are you working on that right now? Are you taking the device out? Is that a good idea?
I wasn't going to touch that until we had decided. I was actually working on bombs, electric ones. And I'm going to show them what I was working on.
I'll kind of hold it and.
What's this button do?
Yes, what happens?
So
I throw it like this?
No.
Oh, exquisite!
No, so you twist it a certain way, and the stone in the middle spins and builds up electricity, and then it shoots out of those points there.
Shocking.
Just never cease to amaze me, sister.
Oh, this is not even the half of what I've designed.
Really?
I'm gonna pull out my notebook and flip there. Actually, forget the notebook. I'm gonna pull it out and be like, no, I've got something better. And then reach into my bag of holding and pull out the surfboard.
Holy shit! I mean, wow, no, that's incredible. What is that? Where did you pull that from?
A bag of holding magic holds everything. The professor actually helped me with this recently. The sail absorbs sunlight and then stores in the battery, and it feeds into the engine and allows me to fly.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I actually came to talk to you about something, but could we go for a walk, and as an added bonus, perhaps you could show me how that works?
Of course.
Oh,
we could go
yes.
for a flight. I've only done short flights with it before the sail, and I haven't had a chance to test it yet.
Yes, absolutely. We could go to the back courtyard. There's nothing really out there.
And it'll. Hold on. I'm gonna lock my door, just in case.
Always smart around this household, just to be sure. Yep.
Oh. Yeah.
So he'll walk down the marble stairs with you and go through the kitchen, which has a door to the back courtyard area. And when you guys go out there, you do notice, if you recall, this was supposed to be the wedding night. So when you look up to the sky, there's a full moon ablazing. So it actually is really kind of a unique lighting that you can actually, with your human eyes, even though you have no dark vision, you can actually see quite well, actually, as you go into the
I've got the goggles.
Yeah, and plus you've traversed these paths so many times, it's the back of your hand, it's your house, right?
Yep. And
he'll walk you to the back, to this little stone bench, no back to it, just kind of walks over to and sits down. And, well, before you show your aerial display, which I'm very excited to see, because so many of your contraptions are to be utilized with the musketeers, let alone the militia that we have, but, there's something I wanted to talk to you about, and I think it's time that you're ready to hear it.
Birds and the bees.
Don't make me.
You're adopted.
Have you ever heard of Lolth? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, no, that's terrible.
Have you heard our Lord and Savior Law? Had a pad flipped.
Behind everything the whole time. Hence the white
So how do you
hair.
feel about Tiamat?
Vecna.
Tiamat
So-
and you.
Your dear sister, you're a cut above the other two sisters in terms of, let's be honest, intelligence, and you always seem to have your wits about you, and your keen mind for history of not only the world, but our city and our family has always been recognized by not only me, but of course Father, and we all seem to share that common bond, among many things, but family is certainly always at the top of the list.
Starting off with compliments has me worried.
Oh, if you're worried I'm buttering you up for something, nope, there's no up to a down. This is actually a positive conversation.
All right.
The history of the House of Rhodes and Courts and Gold and Blades is been around since the city was reborn. As you know, 100 years ago when the city was destroyed and the hierarchy, the kingdom fell, and, well, you know everything from that moment on, but do you know what this kingdom was before the city fell?
How much do I know?
Roll a history check.
Okay.
It's triple disadvantage.
Yes. History. Okay, cool.
Ha! I just read the chat. That's the one.
Oh, that was not great. 12.
12? I mean, besides what you already know in terms of it was a kingdom before, there was a king. After the city fell, they did away with the kingdom and the 4 houses took over and there is no king anymore. Each house has their own symbol, plus there is the main city symbol of Imbric, which has a little implementation of all 4 houses on the logo, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yes, so that is a quick history book lesson of the city of Imbric for the past 100 years. But did you know that in the time before, when this land was ruled by kings, that, well, do you know the history of the houses and why they even came to be in the first place?
I assume that it was typical. He needs nobles to help run things.
Well, the first nobles of the houses were actually derived from knights of the king. After the city fell and the kingdom was in shambles, it was decided upon that instead of one source of all decisions, that, as you know, everything is delved up to the 4. And the first knights were the ruling housing of these 4 sectors, if you will. So for the House of Courts, they are in their 2nd generation of nobility rule. The dwarves are in their 2nd as well as the gnomes, but we are actually in our 3rd. Our grandfather was the first knight, father is the 2nd, and I'm to be the 3rd. So why am I telling you all this? Our family has something special about our bloodline that only certain people are capable of tapping into, and again, it's an arcane nature, so it's very hard to exactly figure out who or what has this ability, but from what Father tells me, not only did he have it, and I have it, when Hector was born, it was thought that he would have it. It seemed almost a male, gender-specific trait.
Which is why you all were expected to attend the academy and train with the military, whereas the ladies, no.
Well, in terms of gender-specific roles, for lack of a better answer, yes.
Yes.
As you started to grow up, though, Father was always curious, but when Hector was born, it was almost decided that, well, it was to be Hector who would have the next marking. But when he was tested, he was not blessed with the mark. And with Father not here to He's gonna stop talking for a moment. I want to try something, and truth be told, I don't know if it's going to work anyway because it's
because you're adopted.
Because you're adopted, but no, just kidding. I don't know if it's going to work anyway, so I don't really know what to say beyond that except for to try first and see where it goes from there.
I'm not easily confused, but you've done a wonderful job with it.
I wasn't even telling a joke that time, so that's impressive. But that was kind of a joke, so that's... Anyway.
What exactly are you getting at? You want to test me first? What are you going to do?
Perhaps it would be easier just to show you first and then explain more as we go.
Alright.
And he is going to roll up his arm sleeve. And when he rolls up his arm sleeve at the top of like the bicep area, you are going to see a mark. A very interesting mark.
Big butt.
There you are. There you are. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo, domo, bom, 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 domo, domo. Where the heck are you? There you are.
Hiding.
Cool. It's in your Discord. So you're going to see this tattoo-ish kind of mark on his upper arm.
In that color or in black?
Just like that.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, one of those.
What is that?
What?
Well, again, I'm not too keen at explaining all things in the arcane. I'm much more proficient in swordplay and things of that nature, but our family lineage has this... It's called a sentinel mark.
I'm sorry, you're saying this is arcane?
Listen, I don't understand how it works all together. I just know that from the first night through our bloodlines of our grandfather, he was bestowed with this mark when he was knighted into the king's army, as was the House of Colts and the House of Gold and the House of Rhodes. They all have different marks. Ours is the Sentinel. Now again, I don't know if this is even going to work, but so far it's only been the men who carry the mark, so if you will, it's just, I've always had this inkling with you, Percy, because you've always been different. Were more...
I have not seen anything like that on me, and I think I would know.
Well, that's because it hasn't been activated from your blood yet. That is what I'd like to try, if you'll let me.
Oh. Is it going to hurt? Or be weird?
Well, I mean, it's certainly weird to begin with, yes, of course. I mean, when Father activated my mark, it hurt a little bit, but I think you can take it.
Sure. I don't remember recalling seeing you or Father really do any sort of magic, and I have never done a lick of magic. I think it's outdated and obsolete. But sure.
I don't understand how it all works. I'm not saying that I do. I'm not a wizard.
Sure.
All right. First of all, you need to just... Now, this might be the most difficult part, barring the pain. I need you to clear your mind. As I said, that might be the most difficult part of this whole process.
It'll take a moment.
Sure.
Hold on.
Please, by all
And she's
means.
just gonna like start filing away everything in like in her mind palace.
Sure,
like
yeah.
just empty hallway, everything tucked away behind doors. It's
Alright.
probably gonna take like 10 minutes, but
Okay. Alright. When you're ready.
spring cleaning.
When you're ready, he's gonna ask you to roll up one of your arm sleeves.
Does it matter which?
Not that I know of.
She'll give the left arm just in case it screws things up and she needs it right.
Sure, okay. So when you roll it up, he's gonna like kind of turn sideways to you, and he's gonna take your hand into his hand, and he's going to touch your arm in the same place that his mark is. All right, just again, I don't know if this is even gonna work, so. And he closes his eyes and he focuses, and as he focuses, you start to see this tattoo marking on his shoulder start to glow in those colors. And you could swear that it almost looks like it's moving, but it's not. Just the emanating glow of it just seems to give that illusion that it's moving, but it's not.
Try not to look too closely because then I'm not
Yep.
empty mind.
Sure. And for the next 30 seconds to a minute, you just sit there, and as he holds your hand and focuses on your arm and holds his hand next to your arm, where his hand touches yours from the palm, you start to feel this. Well, you actually really don't feel anything. You kind of like, this is bogus, this isn't working. And just at that moment, you start to feel this searing, burning pain on your arm where his palm is holding onto your arm.
Immediately cursing Celestial and Noman.
What's your perception again?
21 now.
Okay, so yeah, when you curse in Celestial, you'll actually, even though he's focusing and he's kind of, you see him kind of muttering some words, but he actually kind of cracks this up like a slingus of a smile. He's still focused on what he's doing. And over the next minute or so, you start to actually, as you feel this burn, it's not just concentrated in one area, you can feel the lines just starting to like etch and carve into your skin, almost like you're being cut by a searing hot knife. And at the end of it, you feel a sudden wash of just sheer cold as it sucks into this. And as you look down, he pulls his hand away. You see that mark, just like his, on his shoulder, on your bicep too. And he kind of opens his eyes and pulls
cursing
away.
in Celestial.
He's like, and he goes, very shocked at all of this, that that's remarkable. That's
what the
just don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. It
I'm
needs
not.
to.
I'm not. What the fuck is this? What?
Well, just hold on. Just let me explain. I don't really know what to explain. I wasn't really expecting that to work. No, well, of course, I said it was. You asked if it was going to hurt, and I said it was going to hurt a little bit.
That was not a little bit.
All right, it was a little bit. I lied.
Yes, you definitely did.
But and he's just kind of looking at it. You get the idea that when he was focusing on whatever the hell he was doing, he wasn't really paying attention to whether or not it was working. It was an incantation just focused on completing the ritual before realizing that it worked. It's remarkable. Like I said, I didn't expect that to work.
Yes, obviously, get to the part where you actually explain what the fuck this is.
Well, the mark of the Sentinel is specific to the De Renard bloodline. It's specific to our house and dates back to our grandfather, who was a first knight of the king. And when these marks were bestowed upon him, it was to aid his particular abilities with looking into people's true intentions. The king needed someone who would be able to pick up on what he couldn't, to be an advisor, and to be his shield, to be a protector. That is why our grandfather was chosen in the first place. His divine sense of protection to the people. Our House of Blades is surely a sign of force. However, it's a sign of force to do the right thing, protect those who can't protect themselves, to be the
Punch dwarves in the
shield.
face.
That's certainly one way to do it, sure. And you have that within you as well. We all do, but only certain ones are chosen. I don't know why. No one really understands why, but perhaps it's your heroic deeds that you've been on since you've left. Have you done anything that would trigger such an act?
I don't know if any of that would qualify as triggering this. Let's see. We stopped the blood feud. We cleared out the ruins at Menace Fenor. We survived a airship crash, stole the rig, got back, worked on it. Calypso showed up. We found out about that, escorted her back, and dealt with all this. I think that's all of it. Stopped a train robbery on the way in, intending to lure out those that were after Calypso. A lot of people died during that, though, so I wouldn't exactly call that heroic.
All the people.
She doesn't have to say all, there's a lot.
I was about to say, air quotes, stopped a robbery.
Technically, we did stop the robbery.
Throwing shade on herself. Your friends were throwing shade, they're not even there. That's okay.
She's technically not lying, she's not saying the whole truth.
Doing great.
Yep.
Well, I mean, even just going back to this, you stopped a blood feud. What do you mean? What does that?
A friend we made in Lower Azeros runs Uppercuts. Very nice bar and inn. His family had a feud with another family on the other side of town, and he kept sending people to bother our friend at Uppercuts. So we stepped in, investigated, found out that there was a feud dating back generations, and found out what the true story was so that they could make peace. And then our friend's son, who was part of this cult and actually put us on this track, wanted to keep the feud going, and we had to fight him, and then he ended up dead. Not by us. Some of us wanted to.
So you stopped a city from tearing itself apart between these families?
I don't know if the whole city, they were influential, but they weren't like us. So I don't know if the whole city would have torn apart, but it would have been definite issues throughout.
I mean, you might not see that as a big deal, but sparing the lives of people who another course of action could very well be dead, that's truly remarkable. To end a conflict without bloodshed. That's
true, but it also was somewhat selfish. I wanted to make sure that our friend wasn't injured because I liked the place.
It's not selfish to have friends, Persephone. That's just protecting those that you care about. That's not selfish at all. I'm not saying that's what it is. I just complimenting on that's could be one part of it right there. Doing the right thing and protecting those that need protection. That's what our house's lineage is all about. And
well, if it's things that I've done that have triggered this, I guess motivations don't really. Well, mentalities don't really factor in because I have had thoughts that aren't exactly heroic.
the Red Buzzards, the criminals that after Calypso, they're not very good, and I thought how much better I could do if I just took over.
He kind of gives a little grin to that. Go on.
Not sure I'll actually act on it, but yes, that. I mean, you leave orcs in charge of kidnapping and almost no oversight, and they kidnap other wealthy young ladies, and instead of ransoming them, they kill them. Like that's. And then the train robbery, that was the Fallen, the Warforged outside the city. They... Only one of them apparently was aware of the bounty, for lack of a better term, on Calypso. I was impersonating Calypso and even dropped the full name just to make sure that they would know, take me and, well, you know, I'll take you apart from the inside. And they didn't recognize it. The one person that knew was outside watching it all with a giant dragon. And it's just,
odd.
Yes. And I was just like, how stupid can you be that you're looking for this person, but you're not making sure everybody's aware you're looking for this person.
Well, in the end, what I will say too is that Father told me that the mark would not appear on me unless fate is such a fickle thing, but the path that you're walking is correct, and that continuing to do what you think is right with you and your friends. I mean, you joined a guild, you are part of a team, you literally saved the city yesterday, you and your friends. I mean, it sounds like to me that whatever you and your friends are doing seems to be working.
So assuming that I am meant to have this, what does it do? What?
Sure. So he'll sit there, and as you guys kind of exchange stories about, some of the things that you've done, he will tell you it does all of that, what I just sent you. So with that, we'll turn over to Frey and Gio as he walks back in.
Yay!
Alright, Crablad has returned.
You getting all that?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. Sweet. So, Frey and Jill, you guys stomp out of the House of Blades into the night. The moonlight cascading down from the sky. What would have been, as you imagine, just utter chaos. Well, you can't imagine because it happened just the night before, but you can only imagine what would have happened being at a wedding at this time. Well, that's why I asked you that question. That's why I asked you that question.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about it later. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
So you guys are walking to the house. You're walking to the Glory Hounds, yes?
Yes.
I'm just following him.
Okay. Well, as you follow Frey, he walks straight towards the guild hall.
Right.
And when you get there, again, still in a disarray. It's still not fully. It's not rebuilt or anything, but it is later in the evening, so everyone has kind of called it for a night in terms of excavating and reconstruction and things. But you do see there's been some progress. And when you walk in, you're looking for Monax specifically, or just walking there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as guild leader, he'd know where I need to go.
Okay.
Where
cool.
I could be most helpful.
Alright. So when you get there, it takes you a little bit to, ask around for the desk clerk and all that stuff, but yeah, you can eventually find him. He'll come out to you with no shirt on. He has on a pair of long pajama pants that have like little ducks on them. No feet, no slippers or anything, but just duck pajamas.
Oh my god!
Does he have matching slippers?
No slippers. Nope, no slippers. This
No
bear,
slippies? What is this?
Bear Goliath feet. Well, he's a monk.
Slippy.
You can get him slippers. He'd love them, but
Hear that? Get him slippers.
He comes down and says, Frey, it's kind of late. Is everything all right? Or
Yeah, it's all good. Just figured since you guys are out doing that whole reconstruction thing and patrolling the streets and stuff, I'd come offer to help out. We're been on standby back at the De Renards. Yeah, that one.
right. I mean, if you and Jill, you're more than welcome to stay here. We don't have. He kind of looks around much for accommodations for guild members, but there are some places to stay. Kind of thinks for a minute. While you're here, there is one thing I wanted to ask you.
Right.
Well, something has been on my mind ever since the attacks from last evening, and never really had a chance to speak with you and your team about the situation itself. There's bits and pieces of information, but now that the dust has literally settled, well, before I ask any questions, what have you all come to thoughts on? Have you all discussed anything in terms of what all exactly happened? I know we talked a little bit about it, but any further developments or?
Just about my entire fucking days worth of conversation. I guess what do you know of it? I'll go from there.
Well, you all told me about the portals. You told me about these creatures. You told me there's connections to a deity, I believe.
Yeah, Lolth. Right. Lolth, big old spider queen.
Yes.
Commonly worshipped by Drow.
I know I asked you all if anyone had any sort of sending to reach out to some of the other guild halls, but no one did. I, in the meantime, was able to communicate to our sister sector in Azeroth. I talked to Ben.
How's Jasper doing?
Well, they seem to be all right, which is we exchanged brief communications, but there was no attack there. Another sector in Nocia, there was no attack the evening that the portals were opened here and we were attacked. So they have upped their security. They've called well, you know of the call, right?
No.
The Call of the Hounds? They didn't explain that to you in Azeroth at all?
Yeah, when these extreme emergencies.
No, we were kind of busy, and then we had a party, and then we left.
He looks. That's fair. All right. Jill, did they explain it to you at all?
Did they?
Yes. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it's the mandatory call to action in a state of emergency.
Yeah.
I just don't remember that shit. Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Well, when did they talk about that?
I don't remember, but...
Well, just to get you caught up to speed, perhaps maybe your other members would be better suited for this conversation. But you're here, so the Call of the Hounds is when there's ever a dire state of danger, whether it be in one part of the world or another. You all are free to go on adventures and take bounties and go about your leisure with your team, but at the Call of the Hounds, the guilds mandatorily call you back to form an army to fight where needed. It's the only time you really have any sort of rules or regulations about your membership, really. Surprised they didn't go over that. And he kind of like looks around. There's like Quarian's like standing right next to him. And he shows up like, you know about the call? He goes, yeah. Yeah,
I'm
they
not
should
gonna
have
lie,
really gone over that in
dude.
the manual.
I had a really heavy party, though. So, not a lot on my mind besides.
Oops.
Either way, irrelevant. Call the Hounds, that's good. Because Lolth is trying to force her way onto this plane and kind of take it over to build her own power. That's what all this shit was about. Managed to stop it here. There's still probably more shit going on elsewhere that we just don't see yet. Because I guess this was all kind of sprung early.
Why do you think it was sprung early?
Oh, we kind of dropped the table that had the thing on it.
He'll look at you very confused. I don't know what that means. A table? What?
There was like a magic thing on a table.
All right.
We were trying to get rid of it, and we accidentally dropped it.
Which somehow opened a portal which brought through a bunch of those fucking spider things. And some bigger ones, and some even bigger ones. We killed them all, but that was close. Not gonna lie, I didn't know if we would make it for a bit.
Yeah, that was sketchy.
But since then, I don't know, just a lot of shit's coming together in ways that I don't like seeing.
So, as I mentioned, the other cities have called in their hounds to up the security of the cities, but I fear for not Nocia. Nocia, have you ever been to that city before?
No, I haven't.
Have I been to that city? I don't think I have. No.
The city of Nocia is grand on all scales. Imbric is a marvelous city in itself. Nocia is much, much larger, with much more military might and protection. I don't worry for them so much as I do for some of our smaller sects like Azeros and... Where's the other one at? Hold on. I'm trying to think. Fuck, I can't remember the other city. Gosh damn it, hold on. Trying to remember in my mind. There's one more guild hall.
Amok?
No. Oh yeah, that's it. Yes, Amok, yeah, thank you. Gosh damn it. You were there before, yes.
I was there, yeah.
Our smaller sects in Amok and Azeros are not as fortified as Imbric and Nocia, and you saw even in this city how we were managed to hold till dawn, but any longer might have been even more catastrophe and casualties.
Yeah, it was a lot. Honestly, I think the biggest problem is that these things, they're established here. They had time to... I don't know if you were told why we were sheltering Percy's mom here, but it's because she had been replaced by some agent of Lolth. Same with her dad, and we haven't been able to recover her dad. We have reason to believe each of the other four houses, probably each of the other three houses, sorry, those major noble fuckers up there, are all likely in some way compromised as well. Not to mention all the people involved in setting up that wedding. There's no way people would have just not noticed a magical inscription being put on a table like that.
Right. And Azeros and Amok and Nocia at least have the Glory Hound guild halls to aid the town's guard. Some other cities across the land do not have our presence there, so I fear for them as well. If your prediction is that this is much larger scale, he just kind of gets quiet and shakes his head.
It's got to be large scale, but I mean, just a couple people in the right place, just a couple eyes at the right time can make all the difference. What we were able to do here, like, this was last minute information, and we still held out. At least we got a warning out now. We got people ready and watching.
If we knew other cities that might be in the crosshairs, perhaps we could warn them as well, but...
Any city that has been having their dead go missing, immediately to the top of the suspicion board. That's been a symptom leading up to it every time I've come across some agent of Wolf or another.
That is quite disturbing. In fact, if I recall, there was a bounty here of dead missing in a cemetery or something. It was a while ago, but...
Yeah, you know those smaller, like, weird spider fucking things? They can use the corpses to make them.
And he'll kind of, like, sit back at that. Well, that explains a lot. When we were pulling some of our dead from the battlefield, we noticed that some of the bodies of the enemy were gone. But there were more other dead people. It didn't make sense at the time, but... So you're just saying those creatures were people at one time?
Yeah, most likely. They changed back in the daylight.
He's going to shake his head again. Just kind of look down, deep in some sort of thought. Well, as I said before, you're more than welcome to stay here. I appreciate you answering some of my questions. It's been waiting on me all day, and I was hoping to speak to you and your team. You seem to know a lot about them in our last conversation, so thank you. I will relay this to the guilds tomorrow. It's kind of late, but...
Yeah, sounds good.
If you and Jill want to put yourself to work, there's plenty to clean. We didn't get all of it. It's a big guild.
I think I'll consider on that.
It would be muchly appreciated, friend.
Yeah, so where can I crash when I finish up, or do as much as I'm going to?
Sure, yeah. He'll show you and Joe where you can stay. If you remember, when you walk in, even though it was burned up a lot, there are still beds like to the very front left when you walk in. They kind of like worked from left to right as you kind of look at it now. So like the left half of the building, like it's slowly starting to go from like left to right.
Hey Jill, you should reattune to that ring there so you can like eat some of this debris.
All right.
Wait, what?
I put my ring on. Is it still there?
Go ahead and make a perception check or investigation, I guess.
Kind of missed my molecule, but I was wasted on me. 18 plus... What is it, investigation?
Investigation, yeah.
It's just an 18.
18? It's still there.
Alright, I put it on.
God.
Well, funny as fuck.
That was more a suspenseful roll than anything.
Yeah.
Alright, I put it on and started tuning, and I helped clean.
Okay. So as you guys start helping clean up, Monak will dismiss you, and he's going to go back and walk in his duck pajamas. But yeah, if you guys want to start working on, kind of cleaning up a little bit, Geo kind of hungry hippo, Pac-Man, and just kind of going through, and Frey sweeps and Geo eats, and it's a great duster.
Geo is my dustpan.
Yeah, great dustpan, man. Just right into his mouth. Geo, you've had wooden rocks before. It's like the rocks are kind of like rock candy, and some of the dust kicks up is like a little like sugar coating kind of thing, like you put on a funnel cake, and the wood, has a nice. It's like a lot of chestnut woods in here. Kind of has almost like a bacon taste to it. It's like this weird. You ever put powdered sugar on like bacon and waffles before? It's this weird kind of conglomeration going on.
Well, yeah, that's good.
It's like breakfast for dinner.
Cool.
This fucking ring, dude.
I love it. My favorite. It's my favorite.
Okay. So it is 1:02. We have one more thing to get to. Are you guys good cruising through that real quick, or do you want to save that for next time?
I don't mind.
It's your thing. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. Okay. All right, cool. So as Percy and Deimos have their moment in the garden, you show him how your glider works. He'll be very fucking impressed by that. Like, you're just flying around the
Oh,
courtyard.
I'm taking him flying with me.
Interesting.
It can. I took other people on it when the ship was crashing.
That was more of like falling with style.
Yes, but the point is, it can hold more than one of us. It's not like a one-person.
As a brief moment, as you guys were flying around, like 5 minutes in, or like once you guys like kind of like come back in towards the courtyard, he's gonna say, Percy, would you mind just landing over there real quick? What is that?
What's what? I've got night vision goggles and passive perception of 21.
He kind of points to a certain, like, a spot in the backyard.
Oh no!
You notice that it's. You notice that it's like you kind of like take a visual perception real quick. It's in the back right. It's in the back corner, right underneath the guest rooms. Right underneath the guest rooms where the.
Yeah.
It's high up enough that he just asked what it was.
I got a bad feeling. I think I know what that might be, but sure.
Okay. As you guys land and go over and inspect it, I mean, he's going to find the bolts. Let me make sure I get this right here. Hold on. I'm gonna zoom in. Do I do it in order, or do I come back to that? So it's dead. Wait, Volt's girlfriend's house. No, it's dead ex. No, maybe dead ex Volt's girlfriend.
Yeah.
There we go. It goes a lot smoother if you just go right straight through it. Okay.
So stupid.
She was up in one of the. This is the agent.
And by math, she has about a day of decay on her. Does that sound about right? Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Are we at day 2 of that?
I think 2.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. We did have her upstairs because this was the agent. Oh gosh. I know.
What?
Oh, she was the agent for the cult that was holding Mother, and she ended up dead, and we didn't want well, we'd taken her back as prisoner, and she ended up dead, but it just
Right. We can't just leave a dead body laying in our noble house's backyard.
She wasn't even here before. She was
start to pull her into the back of the kitchen. He's just going to start dragging her under the armpits through the house.
Where are we going to put her?
I don't know, in the basement. Also, you can't just leave a dead body lying around, sister.
True. I know. I'm just wondering. We did have her in a guest room away from everything.
He's like pulling her through the house. Like, did you do this? Did your friends do this? Like, who just
I don't
leaves
know
a dead
who
body
did
just lying around? Like,
what's
wrong with you people?
I have a few suspicions.
Boom, 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 down the basement stairs. Like, seriously.
They are in among my friends, but I'm not sure.
He's riding this weird emotional high of just flying, so he's like kind of giddy at the same time, very confused. And like,
there's 3 that I suspect. Well, 1 is not likely. There's 2 that I really suspect.
All right.
Well, now that I think about it, possibly just
one. Did you narrow it down? Okay, good.
Most likely.
All right.
I mean, Frey is still a possibility, but most likely Jill, because I don't think Frey would be this blatant of throwing a body out the window. But Jill's rather likely.
I mean, little careless about where you dispose your dead bodies. Yes, right. Okay. Well. This is a problem for the for future us for the morning, but
yes,
should be all right down here.
Yes.
Goodness gracious! All right. Well, I'm off to bed. That was fun, though. I do enjoy the flying. Over to Styx. Okay, so Styx and Acheron and Idiom. All right, here we go. So you're gonna walk over. You tell me where you're walking, because this is gonna get fucking interesting. But I'm here for it. So let's do it.
I'm gonna get some Acheron to fly up and keep an eye out above me. Just watching people coming and going.
He's gonna pound a monster and just fucking swole up and. Woof.
Yeah.
You got it, boss.
Akron's the best.
Throws the can on the ground. No fucks.
Right. You're playing lookout. Okay.
Punches some drywall. Right. So he's gonna fly off.
Then we'll start sticking to the shadows and heading over to the House of Rhodes and basically stake the place out for a little bit to see if there's any people coming and going.
Okay.
And then going to start looking for a point of entry.
All right. Are you walking and having Acheron come back to you, or are you going to look through Acheron?
Acheron's just going to keep an eye on me. I'm staying. I'm actually looking through my own eyes.
Okay.
Start looking.
Cool. All right. So tell me what you want Acheron to do for this. He's just checking you out, making sure no one's on your shit. Is that what you're having him do?
Basically, yeah. He's a lookout for me.
All right. Cool. And just so I know about how high up am I flying here? How high am I flying, boss?
About 60 foot in the air. Because that's about as far as his dark vision goes.
Not 59 or 61. I will do exactly 60.
Okay. There's a good boy.
Yeah. Oof, oof. Okay. What do you want me to do? I'll just stay here. That's fine. That's all right.
Just keep quiet for now, please.
Okay. It's just really loud to you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so you want to walk up to that? Are you blatantly walking up to the House of Rhodes, like to the front door? Are you go around the back alley? You stealthing around? Like, tell me what you're doing.
I'm stealthing around, not going near the building just yet. Just keeping a bit of a distance, just to check the entrances that I've seen before when I flew around with Acheron.
Okay.
And basically seeing if the warehouse construction area is still going or if it's closed for the night, sort of thing.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
It's 18 plus 4, 22.
22, okay. So as you approach the House of Rhodes here, I mean, as you can see, there's this big kind of open courtyard. So you can either go towards the bridge or down this road towards the other bridge. Which way do you want to go? I mean, there's other options too, but those are kind of the main two roads there. Unless you go in between some of these like other like richy people houses.
I'm gonna generally head towards the bridge for now.
Okay. Okay.
So coming down this road.
Okay, so in the front of the House of Rhodes, there was a lot of construction going on that Frey and Percy saw earlier in the day. Yeah, the construction. No, there's no Warforged working right now. It's 9ish at night. With that, what was the perception again?
22.
22. Okay. As you walk past towards the bridge, you would notice that again, it's not fully constructed. You notice that on the what would that be? Kind of like the western wall-ish.
Mm-hmm.
That there is a bit of the work that's not done. You could. That is certainly another possible entrance. Acheron wouldn't have saw that on his initial flyby because you were having a look for doors. So you saw the front door, the back door, that kind of thing. But now that you're up close and personal, you would see that where the construction hasn't finished, there's like a human-sized person could actually go through there. It's almost completed on that western wall there. Like right here. If you saw that picture.
Yep. I'm going to slide up to the wall, see if I can see any movement.
Okay. We'll go off that same perception check, but I do need you to make a stealth check if you're going to go up to the house, though.
Yep. $16 plus 21 on my stealth.
21, all right. So when you approach the wall, you're going to notice, I'll say with that perception and that stealth that you're sneaky enough that when you approach the wall, you're too far away to see it initially. You saw the hole, right? But as you get closer with that same roll, you look up, and where you would consider to be like the over fringe of the roof, where the wall meets the roof, you look up and you see some sort of contraption hanging down where like we would consider rain gutters, right? So like underneath the roof where the wall meets the roof, okay? You see that some sort of contraption hanging there, maybe about 30 or 40 feet away from you as you're kind of approaching. And there's another one, maybe about 30 or 40 feet down on the other end of the building.
Oh.
If you'd like to make a check to what they are, that's fine. But that would be a different check. Okay. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Straight intelligence. Total 16.
16, okay. On the House of Courts, you recall that that place had archers on the roof. It had the gargoyles. Now, you didn't know that they're necessarily gargoyles that came alive, but at the very least that they had archers on the roof as some sort of protection to the house, right?
Yeah.
Curiously enough, you didn't necessarily see this on the House of Blades, but periodically there would be like musketeers kind of parading the grounds, or just the regular militia itself. So it's one of those things that since you guys are there, I didn't necessarily make it like, oh, you see them this time. Well, you see it's kind of a known thing that's just happening around that house.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, around this house, you don't see any like dwarven guards out front, which is kind of odd, but you do see those things.
Are they moving, or are they stationary, or?
What was that perception again? 22?
Yeah.
They do slightly move a little bit. Not a full 180. I would say more of like a 45 kind of a thing. They just kind of...
I'm going to stand there a little bit, watch them, and then try and time going into the grounds, keeping an eye out for them, so that it's not pointing at me.
Okay. We're going to make that a dex check.
Hey.
To see, you already have the stealth and everything, but let's see if you can, between your intelligence and your dex, let's see if you can...
Nice. 17 plus 4.
Okay.
21.
Okay. So again, we're on like this side of the building, okay? Like this whole side over here.
Yeah.
Kind of like underneath the U.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where would you like to go on that? Do you want to go like up against the wall? Do you want to kind of go behind that building there? Do you want to, tell me what you want to do.
I want to aim for where the warehouse and this room that I saw last time was. Whichever direction that one is.
Okay. From what you recall from Acheron, this side of the building is where that unknown room that you couldn't see it's on this side. Yeah. Acheron was perched on the eastern side, this underneath our side, when he perched on the warehouse. So you're on that side right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any windows to get into this warehouse? Maybe against the wall looking for any windows.
The only windows would be up. Like where Acheron perched before.
That's fine. I shall cast Spider Climb on myself.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Cool. So as you cast the spell and you start to climb up the wall, that you get up to this perch, just like Acheron was. You were literally like, you were mirror imaging what Acheron was at before. All right.
Yeah.
So as you kind of get up and kind of spider climb and look in, go ahead and make another perception check as you look into the window.
I will take the natural 20.
So far,
natural 20.
Natural 20, okay. So as you spider climb up there, and you look inside, the warehouse is dark. But with that natural 20, you kind of look around. You don't see anyone.
No.
And I'll even give you from the natural 20 perception check, you don't hear anything either. It sounds like empty warehouse right now.
I want to try and open the window.
Okay. That's going to be a sleight of hand to see how we open this window.
Get advantage on with my gloves.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. Stealth gloves coming in to check.
So that's 19 on the dice, so sleight of hand plus 4, 23. A 10 and a 19.
Okay. So as you open the window, I'm going to go off of that natural 20 from before. Now that you have the window open, again, you don't see anything, but you do now hear something coming from inside that office area that I told you about before. It sounds like mumbled talking, but it's kind of hard to make out. But with that natural 20, I'm definitely going to let you know that you can hear something.
Yeah, I'm going to continue climbing on the inside of the wall and head towards that office.
Okay, all right. So, again, just for the thematic imagination here, so when you go in, the office directly below you, there's a wall to your right, which would go into the manor where the door is. Mirror image of what Akron saw before. So, if you can go down to the office, you can go this way towards the warehouse, this side of the wall is the house. Like, which way do you want to go?
Down to the office.
Okay. Like, onto, like, what the ceiling would be, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're on there.
Yep. Basically trying to have see if I can hear any better being closer to the doors or if there's a window to the office or anything like that.
Okay. The mumbling gets louder.
Yeah.
Do you speak Dwarven?
I don't think I do. No, I don't speak Dwarven. I speak Common, Goblin, and Undercommon. But if I recognize it as Dwarven, I will cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. Nice. Wizard shit coming into effect now. Okay.
I get it basically when I cast it, I get Idiom to translate it for me. That's basically how.
That's cool.
Yep.
A wizard spells work.
So you're like.
Good way to flavor it.
Basically, thematically, you tell Idiom like, I can't understand what they're saying. Like, all right, just 1 second, boss. Hold on. You hear like pages flip, even though you don't see anything pages flipping. You just. Oh, here it is. All right, 1 second. And you just hear him cast this spell, and as he casts this spell, you hear like. And now you actually starts to mumble into the Dwarven, into Common. They're still speaking Dwarven, but you hear it like normal. I'm gonna need you to have to roll just one more perception just to hear. You can hear them now. Let's just hear what you're picking up.
16, so it's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as Idiom flips through the pages, casts a spell on you, and you kind of lean in a little bit, and you almost feel like you hear, you almost feel like you can feel Idiom in the book, like, leaning into the book, like he's trying to lean down with you to listen in. And that's what we'll pick up next time.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't want to go too late. I know it's way past 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, guys, but we had a lot of stuff to do. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's a good place to end it right there. Cool. Yeah. Excellent. Awesome. So, again, these guys are going to get to bed and stuff. It's a little late. But again, thanks everyone for watching. That was a really fun episode. Lots of cool stuff, and we have a cool thing to pick up on for next time. We'll see what happens as Styx enters into the building and see what he hears from the Dastardly House of Rhodes? I don't know. We don't know. The Gearhearts don't know, but they have some good ideas. Speaking of the Gearhearts, this is Fates and Fables. My name's Kyle, the DM, for all these wonderful players. And thanks everyone for watching. Good night, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good night, guys.